you might say that someone who is incapable of cruelty is a higher moral being than someone who is capable of cruelty. And I would say, and this follows Jung as well, that that's incorrect, and it's dangerously incorrect, because if you are not capable of cruelty, you are absolutely a victim to anyone who is. And so part of the reason that people go watch anti-heroes and villains is because there's a part of them crying out for the incorporation of the monster within them, which is what gives them strength of character and self-respect, because it's impossible to respect yourself until you grow teeth. And if you grow teeth, then you realize that you're somewhat dangerous, or maybe somewhat seriously dangerous, and then you might be more willing to demand that you treat yourself with respect and other people do the same thing. And so that doesn't mean that being cruel is better than not being cruel. What it means is that being able to be cruel and then not being cruel is better than not being able to be cruel. Because in the first case, you're nothing but weak and naive. And in the second case, you're dangerous, but you have it under control. And, a lot of martial arts concentrate on exactly that as part of their philosophy of training. It's like, we're not training you to fight. We're training you to be peaceful and awake and avoid fights. But if you happen to have to get in one, and I guess the philosophy also is that if you're competent at fighting, that actually decreases the probability that you're going to have to fight, because when someone pushes you, you'll be able to respond with confidence, and with any luck, and this is certainly the case with bullies, with any luck, a reasonable show of confidence, which is very much equivalent to a show of dominance, is going to be enough to make the bully back off. And so the strength that you develop in your monstrousness is actually the best guarantee of peace.
Yo, 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 this is Big Boss from Oakland, California. You know what it is. Like, subscribe, share the Big Boss Real Talk YouTube channel. Okanda. Biggitty, saucy boss, leany, cooking with what? Gasolini, fire content. How you guys doing tonight? You see what it is? You see the title? You see the thumbnail? Do we have a show in store for you tonight? I want you guys to put your hands together for none other than Dr. Shaba. With the Dr. Man Shaba. To go ring like I'm Shaba ring. Oh man, I could riff on that name all night. Shaba, man. That's what's up. How you doing, sir?
Man, everything is super fantastic, man. I'm super fantastic. Everything is great, brother. Everything is great. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to have you. And that's real talk. So, my man, it's been a long time. Doom, 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 doom. I remember, man, before I even got on YouTube myself, I used to be on some panels with you on the homie Richie Rich Road It Takes channel.
Yes, sir.
We had a nickname for you. You used to say you was the YouTube what? Danny Glover. Oh, man.
Oh, I wish I had Danny's money. That's what I need.
Right? Man. Shoot. So, Doc, is there a doctor in the house? Oh, man. So, what's been going on? Fill me in, sir. So I know, I've been knowing you for years now. And I know you're an expat. You live in the Dominican Republic, not a weekend warrior, not a vacationer. You live in the Dominican Republic as an expat. Just how long have you been living in the DR? How long have you been an expat?
I think this year is going on 14 years this year. would be 14.
Whoa, 14?
14 years.
Boop. Wow, so correct me if I'm wrong. Damn it, you've been expating there longer, even before General TaylorMade Dreams, right?
Yeah, when Taylor came and he was saying, "I'll never leave. I'll never leave." I was like, "Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait." I knew he would leave. I knew it. You know, these guys, they come with these rose-colored glasses, and things change.
Already. Excuse the boss, the mere boss, for stopping a doctor in the house. Big boss breaks. I see we not gonna have no breaks tonight. All gas, no breaks. I switched a little background, the custom made. So we see, this is what it was, thumbnail, but boop, all the flames on the bottom, the hot, fiery flames. I like my thumbnails, if I say so myself, my own artistic. And I'm wearing the Oakland, California hot sauce shirt. Because I know we're going to come with that hot sauce fire. But, sir, I only asked a simple time question. Did you live in DR before TaylorMade?
Yes. Much longer.
Much longer. Okay. Well, you are the doctor. You the one who just wrote that book about your living experience in the Dominican Republic. And forgive me for putting the brakes on. Have at it, let it rip. What would you like to say about living in the Dominican Republic, and what's the contents of that book you just put out?
Yeah, I've been writing this book for years, and I finally published it amongst 5 other books. You find this.
Wow. Oh, so you have what? This is your 5th or 6th book?
Yeah, this is my 5th book here.
Your 5th book. Oh, wow.
One on the Ahmadiyya movement. Most people want another one in reference to. But anyway, just go on there. Okay? But at any rate, when you were talking about putting the brakes on, we're gonna do this like Dominicans drive. Their horn is their brakes.
Oh man, man. Hey, we gonna be lit tonight, y'all. We gonna be lit tonight. Hold on, before we get too lit, we started off with the King with a Dream. Excellent YouTuber, subscribe to his channel. He's starting off the church collection plate with $2. Kings and Dream. Salute, red pills up. And he got the red pill, the plane catching flights, and the Statue of Liberty. That's what's up. Jamaica. That's what's up. Shout out to Kings and Dreams for the $2. Hopefully the first of many super chats.
Yes, sir.
That being said, he said we're going to do this all gas, no brakes. Our brakes are going to be like how the Dominicans drive. Their horn is their brakes. Man, that sounds like Oakland. Oh, man.
It ain't that bad. Actually, the Dominican Republic has led the world. I mean, thinking about this, we're going to get, I'll just say this, we're talking about driving. They have led the world in fatalities quite a number of years and have made the Guinness Book of Records. You see a lot of people here, crippled, one-legged, a lot of accidents here, a lot of motorcycle accidents. Before I get into that, let me say this. This is very important, what I'm about to say. When I listen to other YouTube channels, they're always they tend to not really speak, I think, how they should. I mean, they're really concerned about their clientele, their audience, the people who participate to their. I don't care anything about my YouTube channel. I don't want any money. I'm doing this from my heart. Actually, it's cool that I get to sell my book. However, I will not hold, and I always say to myself, man, they're not talking as if I'm sitting in front of talking to them. They're always trying to be nice. They're not trying to offend people. You ain't got that kind of guy on your show tonight.
What? Well, I would have you know, sir, that Big Boss Real Talk channel is a family-friendly channel. No cursing, no swearing. We talk about wholesome topics, family-friendly, no hoes, none of that shit. Man, that's cap. Where my cap? Matter of fact, where my blue cap at? Hey, man, you came to the right channel. We about to Hold on. We got Mr. Flip Flop in the building. He says, no, we're not. We just not miserable. If you not happy, then why you in the deal? Oh shit! Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some beef in it. Mr. Flip Flop, welcome to Flip Flops. You know I got the what's the name, man. You want to pull up later? This is Dr. Saba's show. He's featured guest. I'm gonna let him riff. I'm gonna let him get off his chat. The man wrote a book, his 5th book. He wrote a whole book about things he wished he knew before he went to Dominican Republic. I'm gonna let him get it all out. And I do have Dr. Shaba. I do have a couple of people set to come on later in the show, about an hour into the show.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
just, you know.
I have to say this about Mr. Flip Flop. I call him the Uncle Tom of the Dominican Republic. Now, I don't go in on brothers at all. That's the last thing I want to do, go in on brothers. But that is one brother that is a straight up, he is an Uncle Tom for Dominicans. I mean, if you talk to him about, and I made a video about him, and I don't make, look at, I probably got 15 videos or something crazy, right? I made a video about him because he is one guy that he will deny that racism, or whatever you want to call it, the mistreatment of Haitian people even exists. I mean, and you know what I love to say? I love to say that the things that I say, you can look this stuff up. I tell my children all the time, I say, just look it up. Just type in racism or type in whatever, xenophobia, whatever you want to, in reference to the Dominican Republic, this stuff will come up. But that Uncle Tom, Mr. Flip Flop, he denies that they treat Haitians bad here. But I'll move on and talk about the book. I had to say that. Why? Why did I have to say that? Because he sent me, people don't comment on he sent me a note. I didn't even respond because it's not worth, I'm not responding to people who are below my intelligence. I'll put it that way. And so I didn't even respond to him. Nobody looked at this video. I didn't even say anything, but now is my time to respond. Mr. Uncle Tom, always flipping and flopping, won't talk about any of the maltreatment that the way they treat Haitians in this country, which is a shame. It is a shame. But anyway, let me talk about my book.
Now that you got that off your chest.
I had to.
Big Boss has to say, on my family-friendly channel, the views expressed by my guest does not necessarily represent the views of Big Boss. And for the record, me and Flip Flop are cool. We cool. Have me host the show. I'm going to host the show again. He's a friend of the channel. He has fire wings. Welcome to Flip Flop. Did you know he even has chicken in the waffles? So Flip Flop is cool. And just so you know, Doc, I will send him the link. The only reason I didn't send him the link now, because I know he'll probably pull up right now. And I still, even though you let off with both barrels, but we're not even 10 minutes in. I want to give you a chance to talk about your book and to flesh out what you're saying. But I will bring him up.
You can bring him on and he can probably talk about me, but that's cool.
But later. So
yeah, I'm an open book, and like I say in my book in the introduction, man, I'm keeping it fish and grits for life. You know, I just don't hear people talk on their channels in a way that I feel like we talk when we're in private. So that's kind of how my book, out of all these years I've been here, I just kind of put it into my book. You know, I have it. It's 7 chapters, and I talk about the reasons why you might want to live in the Dominican. It is really a book for somebody who's thinking about moving here, and the things I wish I would have known before moving here. And so, in chapter 1, I talk about the things, the reasons why you may want to be here, and I could talk about the pros for 10 hours straight.
Hold on. Pros?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just stop. You know, I have a dirty mind. Not. When you say pros, I think prostitutes.
Positives living in the country. I could talk about it 10 hours straight. However, I don't think I would be balanced that I would be here for so long and wouldn't have any cons. And for somebody to I'm pretty happy. I've been pretty happy here.
Okay.
That's why I've been here so long. Sometimes and so I talk about it's called the title. The second chapter is entitled "Beyond the Beaches: The Push and Pull of the Factors of Being of my departure." I talk about medical care. I talk about history, ethnicity. I talk about tourism. I talk about safety. I talk about the legal system. I talk about education. These are things that people should know before they move here. How's the education? How's the medical system? How are we, these are things that people should just know. Yes. And if I can tell you I would prefer to tell you the cons about if somebody's thinking about moving to this country, and probably why they should, and try it out before I tell you the cons.
The pros and cons. I get it. Right. Wow. That being said, we moved past it, but he put a $sign on it, so I got to read it. Shout out to my moderator, right? Moderator, Mr. at the top of my list. He said, well, that escalated quickly. Oh, man. So I guess what kind of show is going to be? Ding, ding, ding. So this is going to be a smoke show later, but for right now, it's going to be educational. So, oh, man, that escalated very quickly. But I had to read it because it was a $2 super chat. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to backtrack. That being said, so in this book, so how many chapters in total is this book? How many chapters?
There are 7 chapters, probably 150 something pages.
Okay, 7 chapters, 150 plus pages. Sounds very digestible. In each chapter, you're talking about a different aspect for people to think before they move to DR.
Yes, generally.
You can inform them. You can give them a well-balanced decision before they move. They can know certain ins and outs about living in DR and things you wish someone would have told you before you moved.
Right. Because YouTubers aren't doing that.
Right.
YouTube they're just saying, just get your passport and you'll live a great life. Just get your passport and everything will be fine. Just get your passport. They're not really telling you the ins and outs that goes on in the country, Okay. And you have people who have businesses. So of course they're not going to say anything. They're trying to market their business, or people who have YouTube channels. So, they keep it real light, and I think especially African-American men, I think most African-American men and women want to hear the raw. They want to hear the raw. They don't want you to be nice all the time and just put some butter on it and everything will be fine. You got people saying, get your passport, move to another country. If you have the same issues in the United States, those issues will carry. I heard that guy Dre who has that channel Love Cross. Yes, I'm calling all of them out. That guy Dre who has, you know what he said? He's a financial advisor, right? And the only reason he's a financial advisor, they said to him now, because he pushes this passport thing, and he says,
I pushed the passport too.
Well,
Big boss, it's a passport, bro. Read it right there. Passport boss. Boss.
But he said to his audience once, if somebody gave him something like $50 million, he would never move back to the United States. Now, what kind of financial advisor is that? Do you know you could buy your own island for anyway?
Where's my cat when you need it? Oh man, I didn't think it was gonna be this kind of show. And shout out again to Andre, Love Crossing Borders. Shout out to Andre and his beautiful wife Andrea. I rock with them, friends of the channel. I'm not a mind reader, but to me, that statement sounds like cap for $50 million US. It sounds like cap. Maybe he was just being hyperbolic. I don't know. But
I'll tell you why.
Andre, Love Crossing Borders.
I'll tell you why I mentioned Drake. These guys will come in the comment section, throw me under the bus. I asked Dre. I said, well, let's debate about it. He was too scared to bring that jail degree and debate with me.
Oh, a jail degree? Oh, hold on. Okay, what will people say about your degree? You're a doctor. So what is your doctorate in, sir?
I'll tell you what my bachelor's is in history. My master's is in history. My doctorate is in information technology.
That's what's up.
Okay. Let me talk about.
What's up, sir? I get it, but again, and he was smart to put in a super chat. My channel, I must always read super chat. So, hint, hint, super chat, guys. Mr. G, 1804, thank you for the $5. You have to respond, and this proves the stats he has. The numbers don't lie. Let's have an intellectual debate with facts and numbers. Okay. Thank you for that $5, Mr. G, 1804. Anyway, that being said, and then he follows up. Okay. Mr. G, 1804, follows up with $2 super chat. That makes sense, though. Turning 50 mil down is crazy. Yeah, I think that sounds like cap. And I didn't hear him say it. I'm only going from what you say, sir. And I'm not calling you a liar, doctor. But I never heard Andre of Love Crossing Borders say he would turn down $50 million US just to go back to the States. I never heard him say that. I don't think he would say that. And if he did say that, God bless him. Oh, man.
Anyway, and I'm telling you, the only reason why I go in is because they'll come on things like this and say all kind of stuff. When I say pull up on a debate, he won't do it. He won't do it. So, I mean, a friendly debate. But in reference,
you're gonna make me send out links, man. You're gonna make you come on here doing all that. You're gonna make me send out links. Now, obviously, we're gonna rock out for our model out of time for our 45 minutes, an hour plus, however long you got. But after a certain amount of time, I'm gonna have to send out links.
Send them out. Anyway,
all right, Tupac Jr., send them out. Hit them up.
No, I don't think that, I don't want to. I have gone back and forth with people, but I prefer not to do that when people don't look up data. You'll say something and people will be like, well, I don't feel like that. And I can't debate with people like that though, if they're not going to take in information. And that's what a lot of people do when they come in, But at any rate, when people say, well, why are you leaving? I say, I've been here long enough. Shouldn't I try another country? That's my first response. But in reference to people who are thinking about moving to the Dominican Republic, man, there's so many things to talk about. They have some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. I mean, there's some beautiful beaches. Punta Cana has wonderful, wonderful beaches. Even even on the North Coast, you go, it's just beautiful. And anybody who's been here knows it. I mean, you can go to events in the Dominican Republic where everybody's getting drunk and there won't be shootings going on. You can, there's no Me Too movement here, right? Like it is in the States. Now, I always tell people, you go to court with a woman, you'll see here, but there's no Me Too movement. People aren't accusing people of things 20 years ago and things of that nature.
Shout out to Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I think that
real fast, not a super chat, but this is very timely. So Kings and Dreams, which is a very close friend and I would say understudy of Andre, Love Crossing Border. Kings and Dreams says, nah, Dre said that he'd work in the U.S. for a limited time for $50 million. Okay, that sounds more reasonable and logical. Again, I didn't hear it myself. I did not hear it. I don't know. You say one thing, Dr. Shaba. King says something else. What King says sounds more reasonable, but we're going to leave it alone. But that sounds more reasonable that for $50 million, he would work in the U.S. for a limited time and then come right back. That sounds more reasonable. Not that he would just turn down $50 million.
Okay. There's so many good things to talk about in reference to why people should move. Maybe people are looking for a whole different lifestyle, a cheaper way, a much more, how can I say this? A much more reasonable in reference to paying, in reference to low cost of living is what I'm driving at.
Right.
Another reason for the Dominican Republic is the proximity to the United States. It's
Right.
very close to the United States. People can go back and forth when they need to, on holidays or see their children. Another good reason to move to the Dominican Republic. They're not so stringent in reference to all the laws. I mean, United States, we imprison more people,
man,
I think, than most countries in the world. I think El Salvador just the United States. Go ahead, read this.
No, it's not. No, it's not a super chat. Okay. I just left it up there. It's not a super chat.
And so,
but funny, my moderator. But my moderator. Shout out to Mr. at the top of my list. He's full of jokes. This guy, he brings a lot of comedy to my chats. So I don't know. But even my moderator says, I would not go back to the States permanently for $50 million. I am still going overseas as long as I can. All right. So that's what he say. But I got to take everything this guy say with a grain of salt because he's basically the class clown. Shout out to Mr. But you know what? Okay. Hey, interactive time. Chat. Okay, 1 and 2. Number 1, type of 1. If I'm just gonna say it like this because I'm gonna move away. Like, so would you give up your passport and to go overseas and have to live in the States full time for $50 million? $50 million, like guaranteed, like right in a magic world. $50 million guaranteed, tax free, the whole $50 million. But you could not go overseas. You had to stay within the 48 states. Okay, I give you Hawaii. That's all you could do. Would you do that? Or 1, if you would do it. 2, if you wouldn't. I just want to see what people say. All right. And I made it worse. I made it to where you can't even go on a vacation and come back. No, you're a landlocked. They take this, no passport. I guess you can still go to Puerto Rico without a passport, right? But basically, no travel. You have to deal with America, the American women, the American system, deal with America, but $50 million to deal with America. All right, let's see what we got. Whoa, we got 2s. And 2s mean no. 2s means they would not give up their passport for $50 million. I got a it's about even. It's even. I'm gonna put boss gonna keep it real. This is what boss gonna put. And I'm the one that came up with it, right? But no, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm passport boss. I am passport boss, passport bro. But damn it, if Uncle Sam gave me $50 million, but see, I shouldn't even say that because it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's always gonna be some bullshit, right? And the 50 won't be 50. It'll be 30, 35 by the time you get done with it. You know what I'm saying? But I live in reality, right? And red pill is reality, And if I literally had $50 million, like for real, $50 million, I could figure it out. I could really figure it out. But since they ain't gonna give me $50 million, goddammit, the next best thing is this. Oh man. Just wanted some interaction in the building. Probably threw you all the way off. Genji Monogatari. I was just in Puerto Rico last week. I never been. Off topic. Have you ever been to Puerto Rico, Dr. Shaba?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to know what type. How many countries have you traveled to? Let's run them off. Where has the doctor been in all your travels and I
just got back from Ecuador and Colombia, Philippines, Thailand. Remember now, I was in the Marine Corps too, so I've been to countries in Africa. Okay. I have been to. Did I say Colombia? Colombia.
Well, you haven't been to Colombia?
I have. Okay, Mexico. Now I haven't been to all of these places. How can I say this? I've been to a lot. Thailand, Philippines. all that was in the Marine Corps when I was
the
there.
Marine Corps. Okay, it still counts. It still counts. You know, and that's how a lot of black men are introduced to traveling. A lot of black men are introduced to traveling through the military, the service in the military. And thank you for your service. You were in the Marines. How long did you serve in the Marines?
I did a long time in the Marine Corps, and so I've been to South Korea. I've been to, and you know, I would say this, boss. I want to make this point. It's very important. I'm not really, you know, I haven't been going to these countries just going out and running around and partying and all that. So I want to make that clear. You know, that's not my purpose. All right. So I just want to make that clear.
Man, give me my 50. Man, not 50 grand. Give me my 50 million, man. I'm shit. Vegas. Hey. Nah, you know, hey, shout out to WD though. WD you feel me? This is real talk, man. At the end of the day, for Big Boss from Oakland, California, this is real talk. I love this thing. I love it to death. But 50 million? Man, listen. I'm sliding. But anyway.
Just guy said Alaska. I've been there too, Japan. But at any rate, what were we talking about? The positives of
positive, man. But thank you for your service, for being a U.S. I wanted to be a Marine, man. I told you all I wanted to be a Marine. I feel away. I really wanted to be a Marine. Boss never served in no branch, and a branch I feel I should have been a Marine. I think I'd have made a good Marine if I would not have died overseas, because I graduated high school in 89, 90 in Desert Storm, the first one, Desert Shield in the 90s. And boy, Bush had us in all kind of stuff. Desert Shield, Desert Storm, that South America, getting Noriega, blasting the big old speakers to bring him out the house. Man, we was all over the place. And I had high school buddies, my same age that went to Marines, and I would keep up with them and then bump into them years later and all the stuff. I should have been a Marine, man, but I never served. So, you know what I'm saying? My heart goes out, and a lot of respect to those who serve in any branch, but especially the Marine Corps, because I always wanted to be a Marine myself. So that's very dope. That's very dope.
And like we say, Marines, we never die. We just fade away. You know what I mean? But
my job, I work with a lot of Marines too, so it is what it is. Shout out to the Navy though. Get your money car, U.S. Navy. Shout out to all the branches. Shout out. Hey, what they say that the U.S. Navy is the Marines taxi. They taxi y'all. They used to taxi y'all around.
They say we call them swabby. But back to the book, brother.
Back to the book.
I think that the people in the country are very nice people. I mean, in general, very pleasant, easy to get along with people in general, and I'm going to always say, every country has their pros and their cons, and that doesn't apply to all people. But in general, if you're nice people here, they're going to be nice to you, in general. Easy to get along with, the climate is excellent. I mean, it never really gets cold here. You can buy property here. There are some countries that brothers are going to where they can't buy property. So
Big Boss breaks. I know we talk about the good, and we talked. I know we about to. At some point, we're going to shift into the bad. But you said property. I got triggered. I didn't even buy property there. But one of the cons and the things you can run into in, I guess, a lot of places overseas, but especially Dominican Republic, is trying to buy property. And you're trying to buy property, you can run into problems and scams and people selling you the property, and it don't even belong to them, and they get a lawyer, and then you go through all these different people, and you're paying out money, and come to find out you got a piece of paper and no land.
Yeah, that happens a lot. a lot. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Shout out to J. Cole and 21 Savage. A lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and you have beautiful carnivals here. They have these celebrations, and carnivals are here. People get into them. You go out, you have fun, and everybody's out. You rarely have any problems. And the carnivals are held all over the island and everything. So, generally, the police are not shooting United States citizens, when you get stopped.
Amen.
They rough on you, as long as you respect the police.
Yeah, as long as you give them a little lunch money, you all right. Little 500 peso, 500.
Yeah, never done. I have never done that. I think you will hear people to say, "Oh, just give them this, and that." I think that it exacerbates police extorting people, and I can tell you,
every time you do it, it kind of makes it worse. It's like feeding a zoo animal, right?
Kid, a little 5-year-old money, you just, you don't want them out there, But at any rate, the same thing. You encourage little kids to be out there when you give them. That's just my opinion on that. But and there are stories, and like I say, people can look this up. This isn't night. You can look up people getting extorted from police, taking their passport, getting $10,000, $20,000, couple scared in the middle of it.
You do hear those stories. Those are rare and far and in between in the DR, thank God. But every now and again, you do hear something like that. But I think a lot of times those guys bring it on themselves. They get into some weird situations.
Now, you know what? I'll say this, boss. I've been stopped. I've been driving a long time here, and I've been stopped, I don't know, 200 times, 300. I've been stopped a lot. And because they'll stop you, like if you go to like certain places. If I leave from Santiago to go to Monte Cristi, you're gonna get, they got stops. Don't
they have checkpoints?
Yeah, they got checkpoints. And I've been asked for money several times. So they'll ask you, But like I said, I'm just nice to them, and I keep it moving, Now,
okay. You're not gonna skip past that one, doctor. With all respect, you drive around. You've been there for 14 years. You've been stopped 200-300 times. If you drive in on them roads from any kind of distance from city to city, most likely you're gonna get stopped. They got checkpoints, and they ask you politely. You're saying in all your hundreds of times, you have never once given a propina, a tip?
No.
Not once.
Not once.
Let me ask in 14 years, not once.
Not once. I'm gonna tell you when I did. And it wasn't.
I gave money to them, and I only been in that country about 4 or 5 times. I gave money to police.
Let me say this.
Oh, man. Shout out to iCity 510 from Oakland, North Oakland, Polar Bear to the One-Eye Willies. And yes, boss is a One-Eye Willie. If you know, you know. Shout out to Big Boss. Oh, man. Polar Bear iCity. You're about to say, man, I need my cap. Doctor, I need my cap, doctor. Dr. Shaba.
Let me explain.
Dr. Shaba, can I explain? I need my cap, sir. I have a bald head. I'm Tyrone. I got a bald head. I need my cap. I'm gonna let you explain why I go get my cap. Because we lit tonight, man, and I'm gonna make it. Okay. Do you know? All right, man. Hey, we lit, man. I'm gonna make you big. So, what were you saying, sir? Boom.
I was saying that I have once in Santo Domingo when I was kind of newer, and I was.
So once is not zero, sir. You said, nah, I'm gonna press you like that. That's what's up.
It is zero. You got to listen me out.
Okay.
It is zero. You asked me, have I ever given a propina? And I said, no. And the reason, and the only time I have is when I had an infraction and the guy was like, oh, I'm gonna take this car to jail. And the guy in the back was very afraid. And I was like, it was a rental. It wasn't even my car. He said he's gonna take everybody to jail. That's a tactic that, some people have experienced here. So no, I just stick to my guns. And most of the time when you're nice to people, you just say, this will make you understand it. You think Dominicans give them money?
Probably not.
There you go. And I know some people say, help them out. This is
probably do. The working girls ain't got no choice. I hear the working girls get shaken down. So as far as a gift, I've never done that. Not once. Now, I don't know if it's been 200 times, but it's been a lot of times. In 14 years, I don't care about how many times. In 14 years, you lived there for 14 years. Obviously, if you live there, you drive. In all your years of driving, you've never given the police propina money. And I want to say bribe. I'm saying nice and bribe. I ain't saying that you wanted to give it, but they never pressed you.
It's difficult to believe because they're not gonna like kill you or just say, hey man, I ain't got it. I don't understand that. I mean, there's a lot of people here, a lot of Dominicans here that just they don't give the police gifts like that. So
but you're an American. They always press gringos harder than they do their own people. We were talking about that, and I love Thailand. Shout out to Thailand. We were talking about that in one of my bigger Thailand groups. Shout out to Thailand Taliban. We were talking about, I'm gonna say it. A lot of the Thailand authorities, they will pull over a farang. A farang is farang is a gringo. They call them farangs. Americans, Europeans, non-Thai people. An American can be driving on a motorbike with no helmet, and a whole family can be on a motorbike with no helmet. Guess who the cop gonna pull over? He gonna let the Thai people go, and that American pull you over, my friend. You don't have no ticket, so I can no helmet, so I can take you down to jail. You can give me some money right now.
Yeah, I mean,
they go after the big pockets. They go after the big wallet. They don't go after their own people because their own people ain't got no money half the time like that.
Right. That's it. You hit it right on the head. And even if you're walking down the street and you with,
I got walking.
No, let's just say, I'm just saying, it even goes to the point to where kids, people who ask for money on the street, they're more inclined to ask you than if you were walking with a Dominican. Because we're more inclined to go into our pocket more so than other people might be.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense. And what's funny is the Chinos are kind of got a reputation of being stingy, and so a lot of times they don't mess with the Chinos that much.
Chinos being what, the local guys?
Chinese people.
Chinese people. I keep forgetting. So speak on that. So over the years, there's a lot of more Chinese people living in the Dominican Republic now, right?
And I know people may not like what I'm about to say.
We went past that.
I know that one thing I would encourage people who travel or people who are living in the country, you have a lot of groups of people coming to this country, but certain groups of people have a socio-historical or socio-economic historical background in which they'll come into the country and they'll say, look, me and my family are going to work together and we're going to make business. We're just not going to put money in it, go one way. A lot of these people, a lot of the Chinese people who come here, or you'll find an Indian, they make business. And it's unfortunate. I don't have any numbers on the amount of money that African Americans bring into the country. I do not have any numbers. That's too difficult. I would love some data like that. I don't have, but me and you both know that African Americans go into a lot of countries and spend a lot of money.
Yeah. And
I would hope that maybe one day they think in terms of business and building and things like that. People have been here for so long, and a brother told me this, and it made sense. He said they'll talk about prices of women, but won't talk about prices of houses. There's people who've been living here as long as I have and have never bought land, never bought an apartment, never tried to do a bit, and so I'm just trying to, say that other groups of people, they get that. As a matter of fact, how many young, when I say young, I'm talking maybe 35 and below, white men come to the Dominican Republic and spend money on, the ladies like the brothers do. That's something to think.
I don't know. I don't have those numbers, sir.
I don't have the numbers either, but I'm just saying we don't see them in mass.
You don't see them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
is it because? Well, I would just say, is it because you don't see them outside like that in Sosua and Pedro Clasante at Roombas? You know what I'm saying? Or is it because they go to the resorts, or because they go to their own secluded areas and they have the women shipped in by the busloads or whatnot? Speaking of, because I know how some people get down. Some people get down. They got a lot of money. They have a whole island to themselves, and they will bring underage kids there. Shout out to Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm not one for praising white folks, because white folks, they do a lot of dirt too. But maybe you can say the white folks don't do dirt all on Front Street like niggas do, right? Niggas, we gonna put it all on prime time on YouTube. But white folks do a lot of dirty, underhanded stuff. Right?
I'm not praising.
They do a lot of stuff. So I'm not here to be praising white folks. Well, you don't see white guys on Pedro Casante.
No, I think
they could be having busloads of girls shipped to their spot. So it is what it is.
The point that I'm really trying to make is, and you can see this play out in the United States as well. Certain groups have a business mindset, man.
You're right.
Once I got a chance to talk to Dr. Claude Anderson, and
oh wow!
If anybody knows about that, then they understand what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certain groups have a certain psychology of building and things like that, and and then I know the expats may not like this. If I'm going to go to a country, at least if I don't do anything but build a family, I'm going to build something. I'm just not going to just be there just having fun my whole year. I mean, there are people who die here, become, and just they end up having nothing. That's all I'm trying to say.
I hear you. I hear you.
But in reference to, I could talk about the positive things all day long. Now, we've been talking about an hour, and I really haven't said any of the cons that
about 45 minutes. Yeah. And then on that one, to touch on what you said, it is a lot of truth to that, right? And we know that already our dynamics here in the States. So I don't think it'll be much different overseas. Unfortunately, in the States, a lot of blacks can't seem to work together. We got that here. But in most big towns, and I can say even here in Oakland, Oaktown, and especially in San Francisco, we have a Chinatown in Oakland. San Francisco has an even bigger Chinatown. And a lot of these cities in America, these different ethnic groups that come over here, they can band together, work together. A lot of them can live like 10 people to a 3-bedroom house. And they would, and they would suffer like that for a few years, 10 people to a house. But then 5 years later or 6, 7 years later, everybody now has their own house and they can network. And it's very hard for blacks to come together and to work together. Hell, even on YouTube, something as simple as YouTube is not even brick and mortar. It's not living with nobody. It's not smelling nobody's funk. It's not waiting for the bathroom. It's not living together. Even on arbitrary digital YouTube, blacks can't even work together on YouTube. So if blacks can't work together on social media, you really think black people can work and live together harmoniously? We can't do it in the States. We're not going to do it overseas. That don't make it right, but I'm just saying. So I see what you're saying. But I would also say this. For the people you said, the guys who go over there, they've been there for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they live from their retirement until the time they die. They never really buy one piece of property. They rent for 10, 15 years. They don't buy no property. All they do is have fun and enjoy themselves, and they die. Even if they do that, guess what? It's their right. They can do it. They don't have to buy no property. And who knows? Maybe they ain't got no kids to leave it to. So why are you buying property? And then you buying property in a scammy ass land where half the time you're gonna get scammed anyway. So guess what? If I pay my rent, I know my rent this month, and I'm paying month to month. My rent is going to my landlord. I'm not getting scammed on no property scam. I live in my life. I die. I have fun. I came. I did it. That's them. But I get it. You're talking from like, wow, that's a shame. A big picture. How come we can't all come together? I get it. But it is what it is, man. That being said, hold on. I got a super chat from Mr. Came a while back. He just clowning around, but it's still a $5 super chat. DR police be like, you are under arrest. Dr. Shaba be like, no, I'm not. I'm out. Deuces. Pew. Mr. Man. Not a super chat, but Mr. say, I agree. Boss be talking about the honey and not the money. Oh, man. But I disagree about getting your money overseas when you're from the U.S. There's no better place to get money than the U.S. Okay, I agree with that too. But yeah, your money might come from U.S., but if you're working remotely, yeah, that money is coming from U.S., but it's deposited in your bank account. Hello, and you can get it anywhere overseas. Oh man,
boss. I can say that we can start off with just small things like. One thing that we as African American people, in just my opinion now, probably can do is say one thing that other groups of people don't say is I'm not working with family. When you go in a lot of places, that's who working with them. Over here, you work with family. You go with the little Chinese store Mei Ling up in there and Shin Wao and Zhao Yu up in there. They work. Family, and so that's a start. Just working with your son or your wife or that we can make little steps like that. But saying we shouldn't work together when it makes sense to be team players, you can't with your own family. We can start right there.
You're right.
Yeah.
On paper, you are right. You are 1,000% correct. I see it. I'm here in Oakland. Here we got our liquor stores. Or owned by the Arab. Shout out to the Arab community. You know what I'm saying? Getting Arab money, and them Arabs, they be in there. They had a little ass kids barely over the counter, trying to ring you up and all the stuff. On the cash register sometimes, but a lot of times they the runners getting stuff and all the stuff and putting up stock, putting the stocks up on the what's the name, stocking the food. Yeah, that'd be the Arabs. They do that. Niggas, boy. As a matter of fact. We so cold, it's easier sometimes for black folks, if we're going to work together, to work with a stranger black folk than your family black folk. You almost better off working with somebody who ain't your family, because your family is going to be entitled. They're going to feel they need this, they feel need that. They ain't going to really want to work. They ain't going to show up. They're going to be calling off sick and all the stuff. They're going to be there being on their phone when they're supposed to be working. Oh, man. Hey, man. We a piece of work, man. We a piece of work, Dr. Shaba. What's the solution, Dr. Shaba? What's the solution, man?
I just told you can start off with your daughter. You can start off with your son. I think that helps. I mean, it's a lot of things we can do. We can set a good example. A good example. I'm gonna tell you something that the passport brothers ain't gonna like me to say this, but I gotta keep it fish and grits. Okay. There's no way on God's green earth that I'm gonna show my kids I'm overseas with I call them chicken killers. There's no way I'm gonna be on the internet and let my mama see me and tell the world, look at what I'm doing. Look who next to me. I think it's kind of, to me, that's just me. That's just me.
Finish the statement. Go ahead.
I think I did. I don't want. I'm saying I think it's. I don't think it's. I just want to be respectful. And the only reason why I kind of went off on them fellas is they've gone off on me. So it's, I'm a fighter now. I'll fight you back.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna throw nobody on the bus who ain't done nothing to me.
Right.
But I'm just saying one thing that I think passport bros should stop. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Look at me. I'm with a prostitute. They shouldn't be doing that, man. That people got kids and they do that. People got mamas and they do that. People got people who respect them and they do that. To me, it's just not a good look. You don't show off prostitutes. You don't do that. That's just my opinion. And I know brothers ain't gonna like it, but I don't see how it makes sense. That's just me. Let me talk about the cons, man. Before we, keep going.
Well, 1 second before you get into the cons. 2 things. I gotta read off a super chat, and I will respond to what you said. Then you can get off into the cons or whatnot. Super chat from the general himself, Taylor Made Dreams TV. Shout out, salute to the general. He says, I get my money from the U.S. and DR. If you purchase correctly, you will make money. DR has a lot of issues, but purchasing correctly with titles in order ain't one of them.
Very less than 1% of brothers are doing that. Well, less than 1% of brothers are doing that, in my opinion. I mean, that's what he's talking about is not the norm. Most brothers who come here are not doing that. It's the point that I'm making.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. People can make money and that kind of thing, but that ain't what a lot of brothers are doing. He knows it. He knows it. I believe he knows it.
So you're saying that the statement that the General Taylor Made Dream said is true, but that's not the focus on a lot of the brothers, a lot of the black guys who go down there. That's not their primary focus. Is for finances and money and starting a business and real estate. They're down there for fun and enjoyment. So it's a very small percentage. But from what I know and heard, even from the few that do it, it can be challenging to purchase correctly because there is a lot of scams when it comes to buying property down there. But I do know that General Taylor Made Dreams, he actually works with lawyers and realtor people down there. He has a team of people that can do it properly for you. So it's all about your research and it's about doing it correctly, not jumping off the porch nilly-willy just because you looked at a YouTube video or you did a quick Google search, because there is a lot of scams. So it's more important to work with trusted, vetted people. And if you do it properly, it's possible. And that's true, but not a lot.
I have bought 2 pieces of land and sold them. Okay,
hold on. Big ball break. So since you've been down there, you actually have flipped land. You have bought 2 pieces and sold them at a profit?
I didn't flip them. I bought one from a guy. I was thinking about building something on the property in Puerto Plata. And then I bought one in the mountains here. And it was acres. And I bought it. We were just sitting around playing, dominoes. And guy was, I call it a crackhead deal. It was a real deal. And I bought a bunch of acres. And I think I put the advertisement in Taylor's group. I think it was Taylor's group. And a Japanese man ended up buying. Not many brothers responded.
Oh, wow. That's what's up. So and this was your second property you bought. I mean, your piece of land you bought up in the mountains and you sold it to a Japanese guy?
Yes.
That's what's up. I don't know how much, but did you make a profit or just break even? Or?
Well, if I wouldn't have sold it. Now, the one in Puerto Plata was a small piece. Okay. And so I didn't get a whole bunch of money, but I still got a profit. And the guy this is how they do here. And then nothing's wrong with it. The guy who bought the guy to me, he wanted a cut, which was no.
Of course, man. But that's only fair, though. That's only fair. Finder's fee, right? That's only fair.
Right. That's how I saw it.
That's what's up. Okay. Yeah. So like I say, again, shout out to General Taylor Made Dreams for the $10. He's saying it is possible to do it. If you do it correctly, it's possible. And you, Dr. Shaba, said you actually bought 2 pieces of land and sold them. It's possible, but a lot of black guys are not focused on that when we go down there. Got you? Absolutely. Even though in our super chat, my eye caught something and just for myself. Yes, Big Mike, can you tell? Can you guys tell? About 20 pounds. 20 pounds already. from the first of the month. And what's the day? The 24th. So boss lost about 20 pounds in 24 days. Wow. Already. You probably could. I don't know if you guys watch me from week to week. I think my neck is a little skinnier. My face might a little skinnier. I have lost some weight. I lost some muscle along with it. I'm not happy with that. I'm gonna break that down on my health channel. I know I keep talking about my health channel. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm actually making the videos. They're not up yet, but I'm making the videos for my health channel. I'm actively making them. I'll be putting up soon a whole little rundown. When I started my health journey, when I went to San Francisco, got my DEXA scan, they scanned my whole body and gave me the printout. That was on the 1st. That was on June 1st. I go back Friday, June 30th for my second scan. I'm gonna put them side by side. I already lost 20 pounds already, but the DEXA scan will show you how much muscle and how much bone and how much water and how much fat you lost and this and that, whatever. I did vlogs talking about my diets. I got those videos ready to go up on my health channel. I'll be launching it very soon, so it is what it is. But yes, to answer your question, I have lost weight. I wouldn't ever know if you guys were able to tell or not, but yes, yeah. You got to take care of health, man. I'm not quite your age yet, but I'm right behind you. Boss is I am in my 50s, and again, R.I.P. to our brother Kevin Samuels, who passed supposedly at 53. I'm basically about to be 52. I'm right behind him. I'm a whole lot bigger than our dear brother. He was on the outside. He was in good health. He was slender. It was on the outside. He was a slender guy, but still passed. Of hypertension and heart attack, cardiac. I'm a big guy, and I'm in my 50s. I'm about to be 52. So I said, what does it matter? I'm 6'1". What does it matter if, right now I only got the 2K subs. What if I had 200K subs or 2 million subs and YouTube is giving me 100K a month and all that, and I croak? So you have to take care of your health first. Health is wealth. So I'm taking care of my health. Then I'm going to focus on my goddamn YouTube and run it up. That being said, you want to get up to JM saying, what you say? Yeah. You're right. Losing so much weight at a fast rate is not healthy or good in the long term. It has to be a slow process, bro. You preaching to the choir. I already know that, man. I already know that. You preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir. Right? Shout out to Mr. Man. Big Boss Health Channel is coming in the summer of 2052. I know, man. I've been saying it for a long time, man. I know. Coming soon, man. Coming soon. Not 2052, Mr. Oh, man. Yeah, well, right. Hope it do better than this channel. Hope it do better. Everybody need help, right? Whoa, Big Mike, for real? Oh, man. Yeah, definitely. You gonna motivate me to really put it out faster, man. Oh, golly, 320. The biggest I ever was, Big Boss, I had got up to 290. At one point, I was 290-ish. When I started this journey, I was 270. And now I'm still down to like 240, and I got to keep going. But not to digress. I just jumped off of that because somebody noticed that Boss lost a little weight. Tailor-made dreams. Yes. Unfortunately, DR is the land of scam. What do you say to that? Now we've been rocking out for 1 hour and 3 minutes. We're at the 1 hour mark. Ding, 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 ding.
This is the thing. I've never talked about the cons. I never talked about why I'm leaving.
No, hold on. Big Boss breaks. Your book says things you wish you knew before you moved to the Dominican Republic. You've been living there for 14 years. You already told me you was going to have pros and cons about staying there.
Right. Well,
did I hear correctly? Did we hear correctly? Dr. Shaba, you're leaving? You're going to leave the DR?
Yeah, that's why I wrote the book.
Oh, leave the DR.
Yeah, I'm in the process of trying to get it done now. But, let me tell you some of the reasons why I'm leaving.
I'm about to make you big so you can cook. We're an hour or so in. Dr. Shaba is going to say why. So like so many others, Shout out to Papa TV, who left the DR and now expating in Brazil. He will be on my show very soon. Shout out to General Taylor Made Dreams, who is in Thailand right now, who left the DR. Dr. Shaba said he's going to leave. He's going to leave DR. Cook.
You know, much respect to Taylor Made, you know, but like I said, when he said that, oh, well, I'm going to be here forever, I kind of was sitting back saying, and I think he moved down to the Sioux, and I was like, nah, he ain't going to be down there too long. He's a lot mature for that. And what happened to him happens to a lot of people. When something happens to you here, one of the biggest things that people don't talk about is there is no recourse. Let me give you some examples. I know a guy who got hit in the head with a hammer. The guy, they put it on the news. The guy's going to do all this time. He's going to jail for 30 years. Man, the guy walking around. This is a country whereby you can, listen to me well, you can go to jail. You can go to jail. You can get convicted and then make bail. Meaning you could pay people, many people pay people to get out of murders. Many people pay people to get, you know, if your child comes here and somebody, or your mom comes here and somebody attacks your mom, you may be asked to pay to get that person prosecuted. Now, if the person is poor, or the person does, they don't think they can squeeze any money out of him, even though you are the victim, they'll squeeze money out of you. And they'll say, for us to take this person to court, you're going to have to give us $5,000 or $4,000 or whatever. And they still can probably get out if they pay the right person. When you get in trouble, brothers, when you get in trouble in this country, you will see how badly they treat you as an American. You will see this in the court system. You can go to the hospital for a serious problem, and if you do not have enough money, you're more like you won't be treated. They'll send you to the public hospital maybe, and a lot of Dominicans don't want to go to the public hospital. Some of those hospitals look like they fix on motorcycles in there. I'm exaggerating a little bit. So there are so many things. I wish I would have known there's no recourse here. I mean, very little recourse when you get robbed or somebody. People consistently go inside of people's homes to rob them when they are asleep. Okay, this happens, and you don't have to believe me. You can ask other people. A stat I like to put out, a couple of things I like to put out, and people will say, oh no, that's not true. And I constantly beg people to look up the statistics. Now, I have to tell my children this. I shouldn't have to tell grown men to look this up, but they will go in denial. You tell an expat, you'll go, look, and this is a statistic I've always quoted for years, per 100,000. And I know a lot of people say, well, what about the mass killings? What about the, I know in Philadelphia or Chirac, per 100,000, they have a higher homicide rate than we do. Now, before you get all your pants all, just look the numbers up, please. And people will say, oh no, it's no, because we got mass killings here. We don't have that in the Dominican Republic. This is what I submit to you. If you in one of them cities, Chicago, or get out of them in cities. There are over 30,000 cities in America. People like to talk about all the crime in those 100 cities or 200 cities. Over 30,000 places to live. People don't have to live in those cantankerous, cities where everybody's shooting everybody up. Is there a lot of crime in America? Yes. But when you look up the numbers per 100,000, they beat out America. Another thing, a stat about that, one reason, if somebody has a kid and they're thinking about Dominican schools, Look this stuff up, people. They had a test, I think it was 2019. It's in my book, where I think it was something like about 87% of the teachers couldn't even pass the basic skills test. Now, these are Dominicans teachers. And if anybody wants to see the data, text me or something, I'll send it to you. And a lot of the American teachers that come to the Dominican Republic, they're not certified in their own country. They're not certified in America, most of them. You guys heard of Dominican, people who teach here and they don't even have a degree. And I would submit to you that it would be very difficult, in my opinion, for a certified teacher to come to the Dominican Republic and make less than $1,000 a month or around $1,000 a month rather than be working in the United States. Let me tell you guys something else about working. You can create businesses here. There are very few African-American businesses here, but it's possible. It's possible. I think it's tough, but it's possible. Money is harder to make here in general. I think the president of the country makes, and don't quote me on this, it's about $110,000 a year. Now, is he already wealthy? Of course, of course. He's wealthy. A lot of these politicians are wealthy. You can look this stuff up. How much does the president make? It won't be much further than that unless they've had a raise. The average Dominican teacher makes, I think around $1,000 a month on average, give or take. Do you guys know, and I have these stats in my book, there's been a lot of policemen that have been killed in the last, Dominican policemen, and they're killed strictly to rob them of their guns. When people
whoa, big boss breaks.
I could throw some stats in there if you want.
So in your book, so that's a good thing to know. So in your book of 7 chapters, 150 plus pages, each chapter is a different part of the DR. You're saying in some of the pages you have stats in your book. You have some pages of stats inside the book.
Say this to you. When I wrote this book, on the important parts, I'm stat to the teeth.
Okay.
Because I know people who won't read, who won't go look up what I'm saying, and they'll just deny. One more thing. I love to tell people this one. One more thing. They'll try to convince you because they saw it on Wikipedia that prostitution is legal in the Dominican Republic. I even think Taylor had a show. We had lawyers trying to convince people, and Americans will get on and they'll be like, nah, according to Wikipedia is wrong. You have to go look up the Dominican statutes, in which I have those Dominican statutes in my book. It is tolerated. And this is why sometimes, these guys will be like, why do ladies be running? Why they be locking people up for prostitution? Because it's illegal. And most Dominican policemen know this. It's tolerated. And you can
prostitution in the Dominican Republic is tolerated, not legal. That being said, let me say
this last thing. When you look on the internet, you'll see sites that will say that it is. What I'm telling people to do is look at the statutes, and then not only that, ask a lawyer, a Dominican lawyer. That's all you got to do. Because
what we're gonna do right now, I have somebody in the back, doctor. I have somebody in the back. Doctor, talk.
I can put it in the chat if you need me to.
Bringing up none other, all hands on deck, General Tailor-Made Dreams is big chilling. Oh man, that's how we doing, General.
What's up, big boss? What's happening, Doc? How you doing, sir?
Oh man, what we do? We getting a massage? We getting a foot massage? Or what's going on? What we doing?
I'm home chilling right now, man. I was exercising earlier, and then I gotta get back to the gym a little bit later on. I'm like you. I'm on that health trip. Trying.
Man, your skin. You look good. You look clear. You're looking good, sir. Paul.
Yeah, no, I lost down 22 pounds, 23 pounds.
Wow, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Whatever 9 kilos is. You know, my
9 kilos.
blood pressure came down. Doctor took me off some medication.
Yeah, that's
Cholesterol
good. I
levels
see it in your
correct.
neck. In your neck. Your neck is a
Yeah.
little more skinnier.
Yeah.
The neck is
Yeah,
more skinnier. That's the first thing I noticed. Wow,
Yeah.
that's what's up, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, man, but Doc is correct about that. Let me just say that prostitution real quick while it's on my mind. But this is the crazy part. I had a criminal defense attorney on, a law professor on, and a prosecutor on, and people were still arguing, telling these lawyers that it's legal. Now, if that ain't if that ain't the stupidest thing, and these were Americans telling these Dominican lawyers, like I said, a law professor, a defense attorney, and a prosecutor.
That's everybody but the judge. That's everybody but the judge and the bailiff.
That's because
that's most of the courtroom.
That's because they listening to the prostitute and not the legal advice.
Oh man! Hold on, General. You say they listen to the prostitute and not the prosecutor.
Exactly,
oh, man.
You can't make that shit up, man. You can't make it
up. I rolled the dice many a time, man.
But Ross, I'm thinking what made you leave what happened. Was that the camel that broke the straw's back?
No, you hit the nail on the head. Doc, you hit the nail on the head. What made me leave, because I probably would have stayed in DR, be quite honestly, because bad shit happens to everybody, no matter where you at. You know, my brother was killed, standing a feet away from me. So bad things happen around the world, period. It's something you can't avoid. But when the prosecutor wouldn't prosecute the guy and try to work something out where I give $3,000 for prosecute the guy, I was like, hell no, I ain't doing it. But then, and then what's worse, when I moved here to Thailand, the same guy went in and robbed a well-to-do Dominican, and they gave him 10 years from robbing the Dominican, but gave him a weekend pass for robbing me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now, this is not new. I remember when you said it the first time.
Yeah.
But when you said it again in this context, on this stream, when I'm talking with Dr. Shaba, everything going on, it hits a little different. That is crazy. Yeah. The same exact guy. When a guy robbed you, he got a slap on the wrist. And when the same guy robbed the well-to-do Dominican, now all of a sudden, now he gets years.
Yeah, because let's be honest, man. Dominican Republic care about your money. They don't give a shit about the person. They don't care about you. They don't care about nobody entering that country. They give a shit about you dropping your money off. Let me tell you what a Dominican told me. Because I asked a Dominican one time, I said, yo, man, and it was a Dominican, I'm really cool with. Okay. I said, yo, man, why when Dominicans got people that they're cool with and they do them bad, man, or they do a deal wrong, and they know we could be doing business for the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Right.
Why would you mess up like that? And he said, Russell, he said, I'm gonna be honest with you. He said, what? Right. He says, Dominicans feel there's another fool walking off that plane every day.
Wow.
It's like it's almost like I say the same thing, Russ. I say that it's like Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, there's a fool born every day, so you may not deal with them, but they'll get another fool.
Oh yeah.
But let me say this, big boss. Even though I have cons, I swear to God, I think 90% of what I feel about the Dominican Republic is positive. I do point out the cons, though, and people don't like to hear the cons.
They don't like to hear the cons.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still got, a lot of love for Dominican Republic because, I have connections down, I had 2 daughters, in fact, my youngest daughter's still there, who I go back, and that's why I keep going back and forth to Dominican Republic as well as, I got some financial interest there. But Dominican Republic is like a woman that you love, but she don't love your ass back.
Oh,
you know
man.
That's what I compare it to. That's the, and I think cats need to understand that.
General Fonzarelli
is
he
a
said
beautiful
the Dominican
woman.
Republic is like a woman that you love, but she don't love your ass back. She only want the money, Poppy.
And she ain't never gonna love you back. Now she'll, you know, and no matter what you do for her, she ain't never gonna love you back. So, you know, when I go to Dominican, so when I go to Dominican Republic, I know this. I keep this in my mind.
Right.
And when I go to Dominican Republic,
you act accordingly.
You know, I deal with people just like that. Like I don't joke with people. If I'm taking care of business and I'm dealing with you know, a Dominican, you know, on some business deal, I don't smile. You know, when they ask me a question, be like, brother, I say, I'm not your brother.
Right.
Call
I'm
me
not your brother. No.
You know, and they be like, oh, you know, tu tigre. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I am a type. I said, don't fuck me because I'm gonna fuck you back. But I don't smile with them
as much as you can in their country, right? I mean, the laws still stacked the way they are.
Well, your only recourse is to cut your money off.
Boom.
That's it. Because you can't, you know, you could do something physically or whatever, but you know, but even though they won't prosecute the person, they will prosecute your ass. So that's not a viable solution.
That's not a viable option.
Let me share.
So your only viable option is cut your money off. You know, and like you said, they'll find another fool tomorrow. So
there's always another fool getting off that JetBlue flight direct from New York or Miami.
Yeah.
POP Puerto Plata Airport. Oh man.
There you go.
I mean, I'm sure Russ could vouch for this. Man, you get in a wreck or you hurt somebody over here, like they could be at fault. They could run in the back of you. But let's just say they die, they lose their leg. Man, they'll take your passport and hold you here, man.
Oh yeah.
They'll hold you here.
Okay.
For a long time.
Boss, brakes, hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some big bars for Dr. Shaba. I'm driving. I rented a car. I'm driving and taking in the sights of the Dominican Republic. And a loco, they in a moto, they drive into me. They hit me and hurt themselves and break their leg. I get in pay for hold my passport.
I gotta say a curse word.
Wait. They hold my passport and the person hit me.
I gotta say a curse word, big boss. You might get your ass kicked by Dominican.
First of all, that ain't gonna happen.
They see that.
There'll be a whole lot of ass kicking before they kick big boss ass, but then afterwards, I know I go to jail and.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly though, no. In serious, I'll put it in perspective for you. I was always told. I don't know if you've heard this, Russ. I was always told your car insurance isn't for them. It's for you. And I couldn't understand that until I got into a wreck. What happened was, and I had a brother with me, a friend of mine with me, and what happened, the guy hit me in the back. Yeah. And when he got out of the car, he said, because see, Dominicans are like women. They're not going to take no responsibility for nothing, all right? I'm telling you right now. He got out of the car, and he said, you didn't see my blinker. Now, he hit me in the back. He said,
wait. You didn't see his blinker? He's behind you, but you didn't see his blinker.
So when they hit you, there have been lawyers. I'm telling this the truth. I'm sure you've heard this, Russ. My lawyer told me, say, if you get into a wreck, do not stop. If you hit somebody, do not stop. This is the lawyer saying this. Now,
keep it lit.
You are going to be at fault. And if you get into an argument out there, the Dominicans will jump on you now because they ain't gonna let you jump on no Dominican now. And so how it works is, so I had the guy's tag and everything, and he pulled off. He just drove off. He was like, "Call your insurance," like it was nothing. And so I went, and they got a system where You pull the tag up, the guy's picture comes up. He's like, "This is the guy." I took it to the police. They was like, "Okay, what's the problem?" They couldn't understand why I was walking in there. They was like, "Call your insurance company." And the way that I understand it is, even though it was his fault, one thing that you will not find Dominicans do is put their hand in their pocket and give you your money. They don't like getting up off that money now, I'm telling you. So what's going to happen is, even if they're at fault, they're going to call your insurance company, like in the States, will call his insurance company. His insurance company ain't going to give him shit. So you better hope that your insurance company repairs it. That's why they say insurance isn't, I have full coverage, insurance isn't for them, it's for you. Now, if you hit one of them, oh, they're gonna.
Yeah. So everything you said right now, which is crazy enough, is if you do everything right, you following the laws of the road, and they hit you. So now, tell me what happens if you are at fault, if you hit them, then what happens?
Be ready to go in your pocket. It's that simple, because you're gonna be fault.
Wait. That sounds very much like the first one.
Yeah, but
if they hit you, be ready to go in your pockets. If you hit them, be ready to go in your. What's the difference? What am I missing here?
Yeah, but you know, there's some nuances to that. Well, first of all,
before you get into your nuance, General, the boss had to cut the General off. I'm about to go into this pocket. Shout out to Mailman 17 with the $50. That's what I'm talking about, man. Mailman 17 coming through with $50. He said, "Oh, y'all cooking tonight, Saturday night? What? Live? Even though it's Sunday daytime where Russ is at, he's out there chilling on a Sunday morning in Thailand." Shout out to Mailman 17. I love that the thumbnail of young Donald Trump when he used to have brown hair, holding all that money. All that's money. Give boss $50 million. Shit, that's what's up. But thank you for the $50, Mailman. I still remember Mailman 17 when you gave me a $50 super chat last year when I was in Thailand on the road coming back. I keep saying it because boss don't forget. I have a long memory. I believe in loyalty. And I remember haters too, but I remember loyalty. And I remember you gave me a $50 super chat last year when I was in Thailand. You gave me a $50 super chat today. A couple weeks ago, you gave me a $20 super chat, but it's all good. Thank you, Mailman 17. Yeah, we cooking on a Saturday night live. Mailman, hey man, that's the kind of mailman I want, man. I need a mailman like that in real life. U.S. Post Office, drop off $50. That being said, boss had cut off the General. How dare I? The General is about to cook. He probably lost his train of thought. But I had to put that $50 though.
Oh no, definitely take care of your business, brother. Absolutely. Hey, but like I was saying, because I have gotten an accident where it was my fault.
Oh,
but before I go into that, I'm gonna tell you, most countries that you go into, even here in Thailand, you go to Cambodia, you go to the Philippines. Most countries that you go to and you get into an accident, it's going to be your fault. So Dominican Republic is not special for that
right,
type
in that
of
regard.
treatment.
Right.
So you know that's something that I would say they don't stand out about, because you know in most other countries, you know, the same rule applies unless you're going to a Western country like the UK or Scotland or something like that. That being said, you try to handle that business as if you hit somebody, hopefully you got enough money in your pocket to take care of it right there. Because last thing you want is the police involved. But your insurance is definitely for you, not for them. When I got to the accident, and I will admit it was my fault, I offered the guy, because the guy was hurt. You know, his arm got broke. The lady that was on his motorcycle, she got a little bruised up. All she wanted was 2,000 pesos. I gave her like 3,000 pesos, and she was happy. And the guy wanted, you know, some big money. So they tried. So we went to the prosecute. You know, they take you to the Fiscalia, which is basically the police, the traffic police.
Okay.
And the traffic police didn't even want to do a report. But this is what the traffic police did, because after the guy got out the hospital, they came. They like, all right, you know, the guy, I was offering the guy a little change. The guy was like, nah. He don't want no money. He just want to know where I'm at. So he was like, hey, we want your passport. You got to show. I told him, man, listen, I ain't giving him my goddamn passport. That ain't gonna happen. Well, I told him, I'll take care of you. I said, listen, it's late. I said, I got you. I'll take care of you. The guy knew where I lived because I had to go to my crib in order to get some money to take care of the month. So they knew where I was at. So, I wasn't worried about that. So anyway, the guy tried to come up with an attorney, right? And the attorney was like, well, hey, listen, I know you probably on vacation. I said, no, I ain't on vacation. I live here. And I said, and by this time, I was like, listen, I offered the guy some money. He don't want it. So I said, listen, let's just go to court. I told the guy, let's go to court. Right. So so the guy took me to court. His attorney quit because when he found out I lived here, and I wasn't acting like a scared tourist.
You called they bluff, huh?
Yeah, his first attorney just quit. So the second attorney he got,
that's because he had to work.
Exactly. So he went to the magistrate office. The magistrate said, well, hey, where is the paperwork saying that there was an accident. Now, when I was at the transit police, they asked me for 1,000 pesos a piece, two guys, to not do a report.
But that sounds like they help you though, because if it's no report when you go to court, hey,
exactly,
if the glove don't fit, then I'm up out this shit. Oh man!
So I gave 1,000 pesos to one police, and I gave the other 1,000 to the other guy, right? And we went to court. They was like, "Where's the paperwork?" I was like, "Shit, ain't no paperwork." Which work? It's like, well, who's fault?
I do not know nothing. You don't know nothing.
Yeah. So, and matter of fact, they even told me, "Don't come back over here no more." They told me.
Oh man, you slid out of that one, man, for the 2,000 peso.
So like. It was like, listen, we heard the stories. We don't want to.
What's up with this, man? Dr. Shaba, hold on, General. All respect to the general. Doctor. Is the general lying? Is he pulling Big Boss's coattail?
Any of those stories that people look, whether it's Thailand, you're just not going to be treated fair. Not like if you're in the States. I think that's the big thing. You're not going to be treated fair in these justice systems. I wish I would have known that before I moved here. But yeah, I believe that 100%. I mean, I'll give you another quick story. I had my phones robbed. It was 4 phones that got taken out of the car. We did everything right. Put a security guard. I'm going to make it real quick, 15 seconds. We call the police. You can see where the phones are at, right? 4 of them show up, say, hey, man, you got to give us all $100 a piece for us to get your phone. They see the phone in the man's house, right? They see. So I was like, okay, well, I guess they keep. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is some things that will happen to you, you're going to have to pay the police to do their jobs over here. What I wish I would have known before. You're going to have to pay them. They ain't gonna sometimes they just won't work unless they're going to get something out of it sometimes. So I just got to say that,
Yeah. And like I said, man, listen, I did not.
Y'all about to make boss drink, man. Some Mama Juana, baby. Y'all about to make me drink, and I don't even drink.
I did not offer them anything. I was just trying to get out of there, and they told me, if you want to leave, you give me 1,000 pesos, you give him 1,000 pesos. I just wanted to, and listen, I'm in another country, so if a cop told me, hey, listen, give me 1,000 pesos and you can leave, I'm like, here. I'm with, just let, listen, I'm listening to you. Listen, I'm on their lead. I'm just like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? They tell me what to do. All right, fine. We leave. We go to court. We go to the magistrate. The magistrate said, all right, I heard you. They said, you're going to have to work this out. So the guy said, all right, well, listen, I'll take the $1,000 that you offer me. I said, nah, I ain't giving you 1,000.
Not now. Wait, did you offer him $1,000?
I did offer $1,000 to squash it. But he didn't want it.
He turned that way. A Dominican turned down 1,000 US. Wow.
Because he was seeing 5,000-10,000. He thought if I offer him 1,000, I'd give him more.
Man,
So
he chopped off his arm and then how he thought he gonna get 10,000?
yeah. So
that damn near buy you out of a murder.
Exactly. But by that time, I done called the insurance company. The insurance company told me don't worry about it. Let them deal with it. So I told the lawyer, I said, listen, y'all deal with the insurance company. I'm not dealing with it no more. So I said, here's the insurance company. Here's the insurance, the lawyer for the insurance company. I said, you called them. I said, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not dealing with it no more. And the guy was like, no, well, give me the 1,000, right? So the attorney, I said, I'll give you 100. So when I said 300, they was like, no. So they called the insurance. They called the insurance company. The insurance told them, all right, well, come to the office. So me, him, and the attorney met in the office. And they said, all right, well, what will you give us to make this go away? And by this time, man, it was just being a pain in my ass because every day this dude was coming by. So I said, all right, I'll do 800. And the guy was like, no, you said 1,000. I said, I never told you 1,000. I do the same shit they did. I lie like they do.
Oh.
I never tell you 1,000. So
he was really hanging on that 1,000, even 200 left. You better than me, because all I would have did at that point, I'd have said 5. Because you said after the 1,000, you said you tried to give him 3, and he wasn't gonna buzz for the 3. Then you said, hey, you got to work it out with the insurance, and you go down with the insurance, and now check it out, 500. You said 8, and off of 800, you said 1,000. Woo! He was hanging on for every little crumb. They that thirsty for bread. They that thirsty that he gonna ride you for that little funky 200, 800 off 1,000. Nigga, I would have only offered 500 at best. Shout out to KS. 500 at best. Get the fuck out of my face, man.
I call it. They gonna sell you. Look, man. If you let a crackhead sell you a VCR for 10,000. They're gonna go down. I mean, they trying you. And so I'll say this to people who haven't. This is how I do, or I have done when I'm ever asked to give my passport up. I go, oh my gosh, I needed to go to the embassy because I lost it. Now, see, they don't want to deal with that embassy.
No.
So don't ever say. I will say this. I'll never say just like no to police. I don't do. I'll just go. I lost it the other day. I got to get to the embassy to get it. I'm never gonna give up my passport. I'm just gonna say it's lost, and I have to go to the embassy. And every time I've been asked that, they shut it down.
Ooh, General, where are you at? Okay, so I want to answer this because that you hit on something heavy there. We not playing them games, man. I'm not giving this up overseas. This is my ticket back home, right? It's like, I watched the sci-fi, the Stargate. You go through the Stargate, you need Stargate key to get back, or you trapped in a whole nother galaxy. You be trapped without this. This is your Stargate key to get back. I'm not giving this up. How often and for what do they ask for your passport? Do they ask for your passport for every little thing like Nilly Willy? Like every little incident they ask for your passport, or do got to be something major for them to ask? What makes them ask you for your passport? How often do you get asked for your whole passport?
If you're getting arrested, they're gonna ask for your passport. If you're getting arrested,
that kind of that makes sense. If you're getting arrested, they ask.
If you're getting arrested,
okay, but they don't just be asking for your passport to the left every checkpoint. Soon as they, man, because we don't play them games. We don't play them games.
Anytime they ask for my passport, I say, listen, I got my passport on my phone. I can show you on my phone. I don't have it. I don't physically carry my passport.
Boom. Very smart. Very smart.
You can minimize it and put it in your wallet if you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know some people, they run the copy off, that paper copy, and then they cut that copy and they keep that paper copy with, you know what I'm saying? But the real passport is in the safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to give it up because they play games once they get it in their hands.
Of course.
They got all the chips. They got
all the power. You can't get home. Yeah. You be like Dorothy trying to click your heels. Oh,
but one thing about the cons that I wanted to say, and I swear to God, Russ, I was in Puerto Plata for about 5 years, man. I mean, there's just I didn't hear about killing. It's just they're not really. It's really safe down there in Puerto Plata. Even in the zoo, it's really, really safe down there. Now, one thing about the Dominican Republic, and I've mentioned this, and I don't know how you guys feel about. I don't know how you feel about it, Russ, but I always tell people these bars ain't on these windows for nothing. I would say that the house is just worth anything for the most part, except for maybe a few areas. Bars are very common in the Dominican Republic. People repel in your house from the 10th to the 5th floor. Okay, they have videos. Look up Spider-Man, Dominican Republic. You'll see a guy doing all kind of, I don't know if it's Spider-Man or something, all these acrobatic things trying to get in people's house. And so one thing that is difficult for me here is just the stealing that goes on. My battery's going dead. I'm gonna have to call you from the other phone. Right. The stealing that goes on, it's a really big problem. My wife got robbed right in front of our house. We're in Santiago, and on camera, and people outside. You know, I mean, in the daytime, and you know, and so it's the stealing that's a problem for me. I got a statistic, I think, in my book, in reference to people who do get shot. There's not a lot of compared, in my opinion. No, statistically, you can look it up in my book. Almost of all the homicides that happen in the United States, I think it's something like less than 5% of people are killed as a result of a robbery. In the Dominican Republic, it's much higher as a result of a robbery. Right. You know, I feel very comfortable in Puerto Plata, you know, walking with my telephone, just very comfortable down there. I think it's a different story in Santiago and Santo Domingo.
Yeah, larger cities. Anytime, but anywhere in the world where you got a larger city, there's always going to be more crime. So that's just statistically that's just the way it is. But I feel but I'm with you, Doc. I feel very comfortable in Puerto Plata. You know, I definitely don't worry about getting killed out there or anything like that. I mean, does it happen every now and then? Yeah, I mean, murder happens all over the world, but it's definitely a safe place. I would say, yeah. I mean, you just basically got to worry about getting scammed in DR. But as far as, you know, getting physically hurt and all that shit, no. But like I said, the scams are everywhere and everything. But the safety factor, I feel safer in Dominican Republic than I do driving in the United States and get pulled over by a cop. I can tell you that much.
I will say this. I asked my lady not too long ago. I think I said, well, she walked from our home, and we're in a great neighborhood in the Dominican Republic, to about a 30-minute walk to the monument. If I gave her like $5,000, there's no way. And I won't even. People don't walk around at night here. If you ever get into Santiago and you get on these streets, you'll be like, oh, snap. Ain't nobody out here walking around. You better not be walking around with no phone. Like I said, I lived in Puerto Plata. I don't think you've ever lived in Santiago, but if you did, people would be like, are you crazy for walking? Dominicans don't be walking like that, man. Especially in Santo Domingo, you better not even have a phone. Like, you know, they'll snatch it out of the cab, you know. So robbery is a big deal, man, here. It's a big deal. In my opinion. Not my opinion, statistically it is.
No, when I'm in other cities, man, I'm always driving. So I don't if I'm walking around, it's in the mall.
Yeah. You don't be walking around outside on the streets, General?
No, I drive from one spot to another spot, one spot to another spot. That's how I move when I'm out of Puerto Plata.
Right. Vehicle
back. Even in Puerto Plata, let's say you lived up one of those dark streets. Would you walk from Malecon to, you know, I'm talking about maybe, you know, up the street somewhere? Would you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I would. I've done it. I've done it plenty of times too. I've done it.
Okay.
At night?
At night, yeah.
He's a general, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
General Fonzarelli.
I'm gonna have to switch over to my other phone, man. My phone's going dead.
Okay, you're gonna switch over. Before you switch over, real fast, when you come back, you already said you are leaving the Dominican Republic. When you come back, tell us where you are going to. Okay, that's a great question. When you come back on your other phone. Boop. Until then, it's the boss and the general, man. Tailor-made dreams, general. Man, I saw the live you did. So last night for me, and it was daytime for you when you and
Right.
Richie Mac Zoom, you guys were going on a walk by the beach.
Walking in that hot ass sun. Never doing that again.
Sir, I still have, I feel like just pulling off my shirt. On one of my other, on my video on my health channel, I have a whole video with my shirt off. Oh man, wait till that one come out. I say that to say, do you know I've been back now for months? I haven't been out there since April. Do you know I still have a tan from Thailand for my tank top? From what the tank top I was wearing for most of those days for Songkran. I have a tan. My skin is lighter brown where that tank top is. Even now. Even right now, if I was to pull off my shirt, you would see it. I have a tan from April in Thailand. That's how hot it was. That's crazy.
Yes, it's hot. Thailand has two weathers, hot and hot as hell. That's the weathers.
So that makes me think, like, you know, even though I know Thailand is not Vietnam, but it's right next door. When you hear those stories about the GIs back in the day in the Vietnam War, how they say it was hot in the jungle, I believe it.
Yeah, you got to stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated.
Wow.
But I'm going to tell you, man, there's parts of DR, man. There's certain times in the year, DR, it gets the same way, man. You walk outside, you feel like you can't even breathe. It's so goddamn hot. There's no wind, nothing.
Probably don't show it right now, but yeah, it's still there. A tan on my beautiful brown skin, man. But yeah, I see, segueing back into health. Now that I look at you, man, I can see it, man. I can see it. Shout out to you. So real fast, while we bring the doctor back on, real fast, what is part of your regimen? How did you lose some of that 22 pounds or 9 kilos?
Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, man. The walking. I walk 5 miles, at least 10,000 steps, 6 days a week. So 6 days a week, I do 10. Every day, I do at least 10,000 steps. And man, I have cut so far back on my drinking. I mean, I drink maybe once, maybe twice a week. You know, so I'm not taking in all that sugar and everything. I've cut down
alcohol on the liver.
Yep. Definitely.
Your liver is the main detox organ, and you lose weight through your liver. Your liver is what burns the fat. People don't know that. Your liver is how you metabolize fat, is through your liver. And if your liver is clogged up with alcohol, it'll be very hard for you to lose weight. I talk about this on the health channel that's coming out in 2055. But yeah, exactly. Drinking is a big part of it. It is a big part of it.
Yeah, no, I cut weight, and now if I go out, I may have 3 drinks
in moderation.
Yeah, in moderation. But now, like I said, I'm drinking more water, and it's but I'm telling you that walking every day is what did it. Now I'm starting to include, now I'm starting to lift weights and get back into my push-ups. I'm trying to incorporate some muscle building now, while I'm still actually trying to reduce the weight, because I went from like 245, 247. I'm down to like 222. So I'm trying to get to 200. 200 is good for me. So if I can lose another 22 pounds, I'm good. So
how tall are you, General?
5'8".
You're 5'8". Okay. Okay, 5'8". Oh yeah, definitely 5'8". Yeah, you definitely want to be 195, 200. And I would say this, and you're already doing it. So I would just say that building muscle, focusing on muscle at this point is more important than you focusing on losing fat, because when as you build muscle, your muscle raises your metabolism. Muscle is metabolically expensive. So the simple fact of you having muscle, your muscle raises your metabolism, and muscle burns fat around it. And muscle burns fat at rest. After a good couple of sessions of you lifting weights or any kind of resistance training, you will continue to burn calories at rest.
Right.
The most lifting weights is the most bang for your buck in the losing fat. People think cardio is. Cardio is very important. It's very important for your breathing. It's very important for your circulation. is very important, but cardio is not efficient for burning fat. Your diet, eating clean, eating less calories than you burn, and resistance training, building muscles, is more effective at burning fat than running steady on the treadmill. Running on the treadmill is good for your breathing. Running on the treadmill is good for your circulation. Running on your treadmill is good for your heart rate. It's called cardiovascular. But losing weight, lifting muscle mass burns fat. Boom. That being said, we bring it on the doctor. I see you set up, Doc.
Yeah, I got my feet up now.
Yeah. And hey, Doc, before you get started, hey, I got to break out. I got a couple things I need to do. I'm just starting my day here in Thailand.
Hey, good seeing you.
Okay, let me
Doc,
make you big. Let me make you big,
brother.
General. Boom.
All right, big boss. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the conversation today. Doc, it's always good to see you, man. You gentlemen take care. And I'll be watching while I'm carrying on my day. Peace and love, family. Peace and love.
Right.
The General tailor-made dreams, y'all. Then it was the boss and the doctor. The doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I am. You said where I'm going. I'm going. I'm gonna make the States my home base. I mean, I'll still visit. Yeah.
Hold on. Big boss break. I'm interrupting you while you trying to tell me. You're leaving the Dominican Republic. You're not leaving the Dominican Republic to go to Thailand like General Tailor-Made. You're not leaving the Dominican Republic to go to Brazil like Chapapa TV. I'm going to have them on very soon. You're leaving the DR to go back to the Matrix?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I just told you that we don't have any recourse. If I get in any trouble here, I'm gonna get it without any grease. I mean, that's a factor. That's a big factor. And I mean, if I get into any kind of wreck, anything, there's very little recourse. And don't get me wrong now, I could be critical of the United States and positive about the United States as well.
Right.
I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. I'm drinking water too. I'll put it to you this way, man.
This ain't water though. The color probably don't show up, but this ain't water.
I see.
I ain't got time to tell you everything that's in here. Just know it's a warlock's potion.
But I'm going to one of those cities where it's not a bunch of killing, not a bunch of. I wouldn't go to live to one of them cities where all that craziness going on. Now, people say, well, what about the mass shootings? Most of us will never see a mass shooting. You could put, I think almost 300, almost 90 Dominican as far as land size in the United States. That's just how big the United States is. Actually, the Everglades is about half of the size. Just the Everglades alone is about half of the size of the Dominican Republic in square miles. So it's not a very big country. Say again?
The Dominican Republic is half of Hispaniola because the other half is Haiti. Right. You get it.
Yeah. I mean, but then I will say this too. I'm not even close to let me ask you this, Big Boss, in reference, because I'll say this, man, and I don't talk about women a lot. I do have a chapter in my book about how to find a good Dominican wife. I have a whole chapter dedicated to that.
Magic.
Say again?
Magic.
Yeah, and magic. And so, but I will say this about the women and the man. I'm gonna say this really. I'm gonna keep it fish and grits now. You can meet one of the most ignorant women in the Dominican Republic,
okay,
and chances are she'll probably treat you better than an educated woman in the United States.
He said probably.
The way that I see American men and women interacting right now, and how aggressive American women are, it's disturbing. I understand in reference to why guys, let's just say wives, let's just leave it there. If a guy says, hey, I want to go get, man, I am in total agreement. If a guy says, I want to be married and I'm getting out of the United States, and that's a major reason why a lot of brothers are trying to get out. They don't want to deal with them. Men who have traveled don't even want to talk to them, don't even want to look at them. And I understand that totally. How is it, like I said, and I'm not trying to be negative about Dominican women, because there's a lot of educated. I'm just saying you can get an uneducated Dominican woman here and she'll treat you better than the average American woman would. Now that's a fact, Jack. And if anybody has ever come to the country, they know it's pretty much true. And, I do believe, though, Big Boss, that if it weren't because of women, a lot of people wouldn't be coming here. A lot of brothers wouldn't be coming here.
Probably.
I mean, the women are the draw, and that goes for the Philippines and Thailand and all these places. The women are the draw, and so. Because there's not a huge economic disparity with American women, that may be a factor. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people don't go to Puerto Rico, because those women have access to the United States. So that's pretty much all I'll say about women. But if guys are looking to, and let me say this. Anybody who wants to contact me for any advice or anything, I'm not, how some of these people be talking about, I'm going to charge you to talk to you. I ain't trying to get no money out of people. If anybody wants to contact me and just talk to me and just chop it up, they're welcome. Just send you a text or send me, I don't think I got my mail on my channel, but send you a text or whatever. And it's cool. I'll talk to anybody. Even if they disagree with me, I'll talk to them. But I got all these years here and I can kind of help some people out, and it's free. I'm not looking for no money, man. I don't need nobody's money. You got these guys with these YouTube channels talking about pay me to show you where a hotel. They could just look that up online. That's my pet peeve. So give me that room. But can I tell you a couple of more things of why I'm leaving?
Absolutely. Before you tell me a few more things of why you leaving, I wanted to touch on, as you were talking, and then my guy Fireman had just said this. Boop. See, here in the States, a lot of times, and I believe, in my opinion, this is what Kevin Samuels was saying. Again, shout out RP to Kevin Samuels. I'm a PhD. We see a correlation, maybe not causation, but we see a correlation. Normally, usually, the more education a woman gets, the less she needs a man. The more education she gets, the more combative and aggressive she gets. The more education she gets, the less submissive she are. So when you say that, well, you can take the average 6th grade educated level woman in a third world country, she would treat you better than an educated one. Duh, Sherlock. We know that. We know that. No offense, Doc, you didn't break ground with that. We know that. Half the time, that's the problem with these educated women. They so damn educated that their head is in the books and their head is not in the streets, and they buy themselves in the sheets. Hello, because they ain't got a man. They can buy a dog and die alone. So, yeah, we know that. That's half the problem. Yeah. And statistics show a lot of times the more educated the woman, she'll be the one who will instigate the divorce. Because in her mind, she's calculating that she can do better. But what I always say about nature, there is more females than males. And that's in everything. That's in humans, animals, insects. And it makes sense because females have the wombs, right? Females have to bring the babies. How many? But men have the, you know what, the sperm or whatever. How many males does it take to impregnate? One male can go around and pollinate and impregnate 100 women. So it doesn't take a lot of males. So nature will already balance to the point where you have more female. So blah, blah, blah. Being there's more women than men, women seem to think that it's more men than women. It's so much, it's not even enough men to go around for everyone. If we were to do a 1-for-1, and this say, you know, if guys wasn't gay and women weren't gay and guys wasn't locked up in jail, even if everything was on the table, there's not enough men to go around 1-for-1. It's like playing musical chairs when you was a kid.
Yeah.
15, 20 people standing up, but it's literally only 10 chairs. I mean, that's a hard number, right? It's not
Right.
like, you know, it's literally 10 physical chairs, but 15 people walking around. And when the music stops, only 10 people can have a seat. Women don't understand. You are walking, we are playing a musical chairs. There's not enough men for everybody. So how in your mind, see, in their mind, the music is still playing. They're walking around to the music. They think their mind is not reality. They're delusional. When the music stops, meaning when the winter comes, when the music stops, they're going to see it's only 8 chairs. It's only 7 chairs. And it's like 30 of them. It's not enough men to go around. So how do they think they can easily discharge men? Oh, I'm going to divorce him because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. I think I can do better. I'm going to divorce him. I'm going to divorce him. There's not enough men to go around. And then the type of man that you want, the man with some money, the man you want, he ain't going to want you. He going to want a younger version. And most likely he's going to use that passport to go get a what? A submissive woman that might have less education, but guess what? She's educated in the right way. She got enough education. She's educated to know how to treat a man. Hello. That being said, Genji Monogatari, boom. Where did this come from, Genji? Oh man, Genji gave Big Boss $50. Big Boss magic. If your show you're right, your show can't be wrong. Shout out to Genji Monogatari from Japan, right? If I'm not mistaken, from Japan. Shout out to Mono Genji for the $50. Oh man. Wow, wow, wow. If they always trying to level up, monkey branch. They're always trying to monkey branch. They're trying to monkey branch. They're trying to do hypergamy. They in their mind, they think they can do better. They think kind of like men, I guess, unfortunately, because Steve Harvey told them to think like a man, but you're not a man, right? You're not a man. Your money, your accolades, your nice house, your car, that's for you. That don't turn men on. Men have their own car. Men have their own money. Because a lot of times, if a woman have all that, she's not going to have that in a vacuum. If she has all that, that will affect her mind. If she has all that, that's going to affect her ego. She's going to have a female ego. So sometimes that could be a detriment. Mm-hmm. You better off if you get a chick that ain't got no damn PhD. Because now her mind got so damn educated that she don't know how to take care of a man. Oh, man. Boom. I digress.
Yeah, but, I kind of think, when I think about, do you think that many men who quote unquote travel are getting married? I don't say want to. I want to say, do you think most of them are getting married?
Okay, so we get into that. The whole passport bro moniker or whatnot.
No. What I'm trying to ask is, do you think most men are getting married? Is what I'm asking you when they go overseas. It's a real simple question,
I heard what you said, doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me, do I think most men are getting married when they go overseas? That's what you asked me.
Yeah.
But I can answer it in the way I want to answer because it's my show. So since it's my show, I can answer you the way I want to answer you. And the way I'm going to answer that a while back, this one chick, I forget her name, but she's big on Lapeef Let's Talk Network. Good show, good YouTube channel, Lapeef Let's Talk. And she's one of the participants, a female, and she had a show entitled "Passport Bros Are Liars." And on that live stream video, she had a picture. They all do for whatever reason. She had a picture of the homie Austin Holloman. It's like anytime they talk about Passport Bro, they all use Austin Holloman's picture, right? They had his picture on there. I think the one when he's in Thailand with Kate. They use Austin Holloman's picture. And in the title, "Are Passport Bros Liars?" So she came on with her diatribe. Well, I think Passport Bros are liars because the Passport Bros claim they go overseas for wives, but all we see is they're going over there, dating, hooking up with chicks, kicking it and hanging out. We don't see the receipts. We don't see the finished products. We don't see the marriage proposal. We don't see them getting married. Basically what you're asking. And so what?
No. That ain't what I asked.
I know you asked. Do I think a lot of guys going overseas are getting married? That's what you asked.
Yeah. Do you think? That's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't have any data and statistics. I wish I did. Right.
Yeah. Your question: Do I think guys go overseas getting married? That's what you asked.
Right.
I'm still in the process of giving you my 15-minute, 1 hour answer. I'm answering it my way. And the way I'm answering it, when that young lady said, "Passport Bros are liars because they say they go overseas for wives, but all we see is them hooking up." And what I say to that, Passport Bros is an umbrella. Passport Bros are guys going overseas, period. Guys going overseas. Going overseas for what? Going overseas for wives. Going overseas for girlfriends, going overseas for sex vacations, going overseas to hook up. This guy's going overseas. Guess what? Men don't have to answer to nobody. We got a passport. We grown. We can go overseas to do what the hell we want. But your answer is, do I think guys going overseas get married?
That's all I think that's all I asked. I didn't ask you to find a passport, bro.
Right. You did, but it's my channel. If I wanted to find it, I would do it because it's my show.
But you said you're going to answer it your way, but you didn't even answer it your way.
I did it. Right when I'm about to, then you said what you said just now.
All right, I'm listening.
Thank you. If you ask a question, listen. I told you I was going to answer it my way. Right when I gave you the answer, I didn't ask you, blah, 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 blah. So listen, doctor. You say you're a doctor, so listen. To answer your question, do I think guys going overseas get married? Yes. Boom. But that's so simple. That's so simple. That's so simple because I don't have the data either. I don't have the data. I think it's a small number. I think it's very small. I don't know how many travel groups you are into. I'm into a lot of travel groups.
Right.
WhatsApp. I'm in a few on Facebook. So in a group, so maybe it's not on YouTube, right? The YouTubers don't put it out on YouTube, but within these enclosed male spaces, these locker room spaces, in the Facebook groups, in the WhatsApp groups, I'm seeing some of the guys get married. So I see that.
I'll say this to them.
I still think it's a small number.
There you go. That's all. Yeah.
But the answer is yes. But what is that? When I say yes, that's very small.
I think what I heard. I think
the bigger picture to that. Guys go overseas to do what they want, and it doesn't matter if somebody try to police them and say, "Well, I don't think guys should go over there." Guys can do what the hell they want to do. And
I think.
To answer your question, a few do get married on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's what I believe too. A few. You know, and I've been in some groups. I'm not in like many groups anymore, but yeah, it's from the groups. It's always a small percentage. Small percentage from the groups. Yeah.
And a lot of times that's not shown on YouTube.
Right.
So YouTube don't really see it. Right.
Yeah, but I don't know of any sphere, or groups or where it's a huge amount of people.
Well, you would have to think globally anyway. I mean, together, like a pyramid, like a pyramid apex. There won't be. I mean, the from the marriages to people casual to people hooking up, it's going to be a smaller number of people getting married, even in the States. I mean, so if you say even in America, in the USA, in the dating market, how many people are getting married in America versus how many people go on dates versus how many people hooking up? So when it comes to that apex at the top of the pyramid, how many people make it to that final level of marriage? Marriage rates are declining all over, especially in the West. Marriage rates are declining in America. More and more guys are opting out of marriage. So to sit
I think when you talk about
overseas, you guys are not getting married overseas. Well, marriage rates are declining everywhere.
And I don't know who says that.
People don't got to get married because you want them to get married.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, boss. Wait a minute, boss. I never said none of these things.
Well, not so much you, but I'm saying not so much you per se, but I'm saying the passport haters and the people that make YouTube videos where passport bros are liars. You say you guys want fit, feminine, submissive women, but we don't see no marriages. All we see you, so the fuck what? We do what we do. We grown. And when people get married, they get married. And marriage is supposed to be sacred. So you ain't going to see a marriage every 5 minutes. People don't get married like that. Marriage.
And I'll say this too. I'll say this too. I think the marriage rates in a lot of most Latin American countries are lower than the United States.
Wow.
Very few people are getting married here. They live together, but they don't get legally married. I don't think it's a large. I mean, you know people, you talk to people, you know what I mean. It's a small percentage of them having getting married, and a high percentage of them having babies out of wedlock too here.
Yeah, that pyramid. Yeah. When you're talking about that final apex of marriage at the top, people that really go through all the final steps to finally get married. That's at the top of a pyramid. It funnels up. But when you talk about people hooking up, casually dating, having kids, blah, blah, so it's like that already. So I'm just tired of the narrative being pressed on passport, bro. Well, how come you ain't getting married?
But you keep talking about what other people are talking about. That ain't what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, yeah, if not even so much you, but what other people, right, what other people are talking about. And you ask how many brothers.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of periphery conversations around it myself, but I don't. But I will say this too. I think for the reasons why I'm leaving, it's just been here so long. But the court system, the corruption, and a bunch of things like that. But I wish I would have known a lot of things that I do know now, especially, you got to be careful who you bring in your house. They look, yeah, man, even people who deliver from the little comados and stuff, you always have to be careful. You definitely have to live behind bars. And I don't like living behind bars. If you have a nice house, you got to have bars on them, alarms and that kind of thing, and
they had them in the neighborhoods. They have them in the States.
Well, I had a conversation with a fella about 2 years ago, and he just made me so like he was from Tennessee or Alabama, and he was trying to tell me there's bars. I'm like, man, go to them crazy cities in America. When they have bars, I already said there's over 30,000 cities. Them crazy cities got bars on their window. I don't want to live in them cities either.
Right, yeah.
But most cities, especially in the South, people's homes, 90% of people or higher you don't have to have bars in Atlanta. You don't have to have bars probably in Baltimore. I got my master's in Baltimore, and they may have bars on them windows now. Boy, Baltimore off the chain. But there are a lot of cities where you don't have to have. I think most cities in America. I know most cities in America. Most Americans don't live behind bars. You know, but when you got a nice house here, most people do live behind bars. It's like you're in prison a little bit. I mean, if I went outside right now and washed my car just outside the bars, I'd be afraid, and my wife would have a bird. You know, so I mean, that's one thing. I think the scamming is it's a big problem for most people too. So, you know, I could go on and on and on, but, you know, I mean, like I said, 90% of it has been good. And if a person hasn't lived here, I think they should try it and experience it and, you know, try to keep a low profile and try to, you know, do the right thing, etc. You know, because the risks are not that high if you were, you know, really, you know, trying to follow the rules and do everything right. You know, your risk is pretty low of getting hurt or something like that, I believe. You know.
Shout out to Mailman 17. Again, thank you for that $50 super chat. He comes back with a $10 super chat, totaling $60 total. Now, Mailman 17 delivered a mail. He says, Dr. Shaba or Captain Shaba? That is the question. The doc seems like he's being politically correct on some things. Keep it 100, Doc. He say you hold him back. He seems like you're being politically correct. He's saying you're not keeping it 100. I try to speak. I don't like to talk about the ladies. You know, I don't go down that road. Even though I'm not no angel. I ain't trying to play like I'm new, bro. I got dirt on me. So, you know, nobody is an angel, I don't believe. So I just think it's too much talk about the women. And I think guys focus on the women too much. And it's just like, you know, they need to hear something different, you know, maybe, you know, I mean, a lot of these channels do women, and be broke. I know. Look, boss. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. There are too many brothers. Keep it 100, Doc. He said you hold him back.
No, man.
The Doc is holding back. He said you scared. He said you scared.
Let me talk about it. Let me make some people mad. You want me to make some people mad?
No, you scared, Doc. You holding back.
I think there are far too many passport brothers that can't afford to go anywhere. But they putting trips on credit cards and stuff like that. I think that's a big problem with passport bros, man. I think it's a big problem.
Go traveling.
And you know, the first thing people will say, "Oh, you're in people's pockets." No, I'm just saying it's almost like saying certain groups of people buy too much Cadillacs. And you ain't in people's pockets. It's just kind of the truth. You got guys got YouTube channels be begging people for money. Come on, hey, I lost my ticket, or I got robbed, and be begging their subscribers for money to get back home. If they ain't got no money to go.
Jay Rello. Shout out to Jay Rello.
You know. And then I'll say this too, man. I gotta say this, all right? You know, sexual addiction is something that African-American men don't like to talk about.
Okay.
We don't like to talk about it. However, it's a big thing with the passport bros. Okay. You know, they're like wolves, man, some of these guys, and they will have you in dangerous neighborhoods. It's almost like some of these guys, and I used to take people around and show, but it's almost like they got that they'll tell you, I got to get the monkey off my back. They will tell you that. And they'll call you and say, take you to some dangerous neighborhood to meet some girl. It's almost like a dope fiend going, hey, man, help me with my fix, man. When I come see you, they'll say they're coming to see you, right? But they'll take you all somewhere in some dark neighborhood somewhere because they looking for some girl. And, you know, these guys spending money they ain't got. A lot of them, man, it happens, man. And I'm telling you, people get caught up in situations because they're not thinking with this. A lot of times, man.
What they thinking
what
they thinking with?
You know. I'm just saying, you know, that's a problem. That's an issue. You got people on. I have the HIV rates in my book. How much prevalent as HIV, herpes, and other diseases here.
Wait, hold on. Break. You got that even in your book? You got stats for sexual diseases in your book?
Yeah.
So you really covered everything in your book.
I tried to, and I got, footnotes, for people. People don't know.
Man 17, he came back with $5, totaling $65. He said, "Now there we go. Let it out, Doc. And the truth shall set you free.
Stop.
Live your truth, Doc." He said,
I think.
Hey, this is the Doc we came to see, man. This is the Doc.
Man, you better stop that. I think that you got guys here because they don't have any discipline. Downstairs, they're over here having sex with women unprotected. That can't be discipline.
What's that?
That can't be discipline. A man cannot be with a prostitute having unprotected sex and is thinking.
Okay. I am at this point. Conversation is over. Thank you for coming out. You're not going to attack Big Boss all night on my channel. I feel personally attacked, sir.
Wait, what are you saying? I'm talking about you.
And hey,
I'm talking about you.
I'm gonna keep it a buck on my channel. Haters about to clip it. They know I do what I do. That's part of my get down. I do that from time to time.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me you do that?
Yes, I do. I cannot tell a lie. I chop down a cherry tree. Sometimes bossy boss go raw, man. Raw is love.
I need to be slapped for that.
Hey, it's all good, man. At the same time.
Wait a minute, boss. Back up. Now I got to interview you, man. Now you got to keep it real. Now you got to keep it real.
This is one of your first time on the channel. I talk about this. My viewers already know, but let's go. Let's run it.
Are you telling me, man, let me put my hat on. Let me put my hat on. Are you telling me that you are talking about a health channel?
Yes. Well, not on this channel though.
It don't matter. You the man. You talking about a health channel, but my question to you is that healthy?
No. And so on a health channel, I will not talk about prostitutes on a health channel. I don't even think I'm gonna talk about sex on a health channel. I'm gonna be talking about weight loss on a health channel.
Well, I guess since you answered it so direct, I'm gonna
be talking about nutrition on a health channel. I'm not gonna be talking about passports and going overseas to brothels and prostitutes on a health channel.
Well, let me say this then.
I'm a grown man, and people have different sides. So
well, let me say this. Let me just say this. The interview is over. I mean, since you answered it so directly, ain't nothing else to say. So thanks for the interview.
You're welcome.
I can take my hat off. Wow. But no, I think that
I'm grown. I know the risk. I'm satisfied with the risk. I take my risk. I take my precautions also, right? And it's not nilly-willy like it sounds, but I would be lying if I just said, I would be lying and not keeping it real if I just said that you always use the condom in every situation when I'm hooking up, laying out with a chick for overseas. I would be lying. So I got to keep it real.
Wow.
Then when you hit me with the health channel, okay, fine, fair enough. On the health channel, I would talk about health topics.
Well,
and
doesn't that kind of like, No,
I know what you're about to ask, so I'll let you finish saying it before I answer. Go ahead.
No, go.
Yeah, no, not a contradiction, not at all. Because even then, if one, I don't plan to talk about sex on the health channel, and if I do speak on the health channel about sex, I will recommend for people to use protective condoms or maybe abstain from sex. If you're that concerned about it, maybe you should abstain from sex and don't even have sex at all, or or check with your doctor and then get a condom. I'm gonna tell you right. I'm never gonna tell nobody wrong. I'm gonna tell you right.
Well,
Now,
I would say,
I do. And then
I
I'm
would
not
say
even talking
this.
about that on my health channel.
I will say this. I give you a lot of respect for just keeping it fish and grits, man. And keeping it just, look, you just basically saying, look, and I'm a grown man. I do what I do. I know my risk. We all take risks in life. These are my risks. I respect that a lot, you know, at least your honesty, you know, because very few people, do the hand again. Let me see. There you go. I mean, you got to respect that. It's real talk. Big, what do you talk?
I'm grown. I do what I do. I'm grown.
I like the finger, man. You got to show it to me one more time.
Nah,
let me see it again.
You've seen it enough. I don't do tricks on command. You've seen it enough. Mailman 17 for the $5.
Oh, man.
This ain't Sesame Street. This is Saturday Night Live, unfiltered and unapologetic. Don't hold back. Anything goes, and that's real talk.
I like the finger. I mean, are there any questions? What about that, man? That might be good because it might be people want to hear a question or whatever, and I'll be as honest as possible. I'll be like this big boss, real talk.
Hey, they know. My regular viewers know. I've been doing this now on my channel for almost 2 years. We're coming up on 2 years. But before I even started my channel, I started on a homie channel, Richie Rich, Road to Tape. Shout out to Road to Tape. And also Jedi Drees, Drees TV. So I was always between their two channels before I had a channel. And so people would like my realness. One, they like my energy. They like me come up here wearing my fake Wakanda chain, acting crazy. I'm from Oakland, acting crazy. They like my energy. And they like how I just kept it raw and funky. And every time I'll be on Richie Rich show or Jedi Drees show or something like that, Big Boss need to have his own channel. Big Boss keeps it real. He need his own channel. So about a couple years later, I said, hey, Big Boss, real talk. And I ain't changed. I'm always the same. So I'm not sitting here to play with nobody.
Hey, any questions?
I'm older than most people. I'm in my 50s. I don't quite look it, even though I got the gray. I'm in my 50s. My kids are grown. My kids know what I do. My mama know what I do. It's the most funniest stuff. My mama say, when I come back, my mama say, you over there fishing. She call it fishing. You over there fishing. I be praying for you. You over there fishing. Even my mama know what I do. So guess what? Who are you? I'm grown. I do what I do. I make my own money. I'm responsible. I go overseas. I come back in one piece. You know, I don't rob nobody. I don't hurt nobody. I don't rob, steal, and kill and destroy. I have fun. I spread a lot of money around, and I come back. So Big Boss got an opinion, and that's their fucking problem.
Hey, so are there anybody who has any questions, though? Do you see any questions?
Yeah, so here's a question. Yeah, so this is question time. You guys, and basically because he said it, because you know Bossy Boss, what I always say on this channel, if you got a question for our guest, it need to be a $sign in front, for question mark in the back. But this time around, the gracious doctor, he invites the questions. So you got any questions?
Yeah, I have been with a woman for a long number of years. She isn't a young person. So that's a plus. Not bringing.
I seen her before we went live. She came up, and when she brought you your dinner. She brought you your dinner, and you brought her on camera. Right. I would say, with all respect, she's very nice looking.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. But I don't have a young person. She's not really young. So that's a plus. Now, I would say this, and I say this to anybody talking about bringing a foreign wife. You know, the problem with 90 Day Fiance is these guys don't know these people. You know, I've been living with this woman for years. I mean, so I speak the language and so I'm integrated into the culture with family and everybody. So that's a big deal right there. And I would say, I would submit to, and I say this all the time, and I've heard other people say it, if you're going to marry a woman and bring her to the States, be with that woman for years, integrate yourself into her culture, into her family, see how, how she is, people calling her, see if she got male friends, and the list goes on. And I would be afraid to bring a very young person back to the state. I would be very, very, very. And then another thing that's important to me, and I've heard Taylor Made say this, why is it that some people will get serious with people who have never held down a real job? Do you know how many people here work in the hospitals that are nurses, doctors? They don't even have to be that. They could just, they could own a salon. They could be working at a tire shop, but at least they have had a career. Now, how many men do that in the States? How many men will marry a girl straight out of the projects? I mean, I don't know. I know I don't think I would. And so what I'm trying to say is, if the person has a history and you've moved to the country, I think it's a lot safer. So yes, I'm still, everybody, I'm a little nervous for the change. So yes, but with all that being said,
let's be honest. Hey, just like I did with your question, I went around the block to answer your simple question. You have the right to do that. You have the right to answer the question how you want to answer it.
No, that was advice, Big Boss. That was advice. That wasn't answer. That was advice. I was saying marry a girl. That's advice. That's not answering that, Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Any more questions?
But then you did answer it. You said yes after you gave your advice and went around the corner.
Yeah, I think people kind of need to hear that kind of stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes, questions arise for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you can answer the next 2 or 3 questions by giving a full context than a simple yes, no.
Agree.
Right?
Agree.
Did a good job on that.
And when I say nervous, I'm just always a little nervous. I'm nervous about myself coming back.
Right.
Because I know it'd be like a culture shock for me. Even though I own a home there in the States too, but it's still I'm nervous for myself.
Where is it? It was earlier on, and it's real briefly when you first said it. I can't find it, so I'm just gonna say I wanted to bring it on screen. And I think it's Fireman who said it when you first said you were going back. Well, he said, I wager he lasts for 6 months back in the States. I guess he was joking around. I'm trying to find it. It's somewhere in here, but yeah. Shout out to Fireman. Yeah, so I hear what you're saying. You said to keep it real, you're a little nervous for your own self going back because you haven't lived full time in the state almost 15 years.
Yeah, that's something.
So you lived in the U.S. under Obama? Wasn't Trump.
Well,
before then.
Yeah, no, I was here when Obama was here, but I was here.
So Bush. Wow.
Yeah.
You haven't lived in the U.S. since President Bush?
Yeah, but I always go back. I always keep going
back to visit. Yeah, but not live.
I'm always. I mean, like once a month, I was going back. So, yeah.
But not live. Wow.
No. So it'll be a change for me because things have changed a lot, especially the
buddy. Under Biden. Wait till you get back. Oh man. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I always say this too, brother boss. When I think of, let's say your mom living, right?
Yes.
Let's say she's in California. Well, don't tell. I want you to put that out there.
But I told people, the city. My mom lives in California.
Okay. Let's say this. The economy has changed. But has anything drastically affected your mother's life when whatever president has been. Has anything ever drastic happened because this person was in office or that person was in office? Over here, for instance, people go to fighting and raising hell because of the president, who's going to be president. And although the president and if anything, what has changed drastically in your mother's life based on the president being in office? Drastically, like really changed her life?
She hasn't told me, but you know, she does always tell me about how her like pensions and other monies and things she looked forward to are pretty much always, you know, on the chopping block, and it depends on this and depends on that. But I mean, my mother is doing well. She's doing well, but my mother even follows stuff like that because she realized that down the line, some of these things can impact her. And
I know all things impact her.
She doesn't want me to worry about her too much, so she doesn't tell me. She doesn't get deep all into that. But
I'm just saying, even, but you're in the States though,
stuff like that.
And when I think about, you know, just the drastic things that happen in my life based on who was in office, it's not that drastic for me.
Okay.
You know, but any more questions?
Wait till you get back. Oh man, wait till you get back. You shall see. Damn. Mailman 17 total up to $70 for the night, man. You are the official sponsor of tonight's stream. This stream has been brought to you by Mailman 17. I don't know what he's selling or whatever, but I'm going to do a commercial for Mailman 17. Buy whatever he's selling. He is the sponsor of this stream tonight, totaling $70 with this last $5. In the words of the late, great Bernie Mac, boss say what they scared to say. Too real for TV. Oh, man, not the boss. Yes, you already know that's right. Cost of living. Oh, hell yeah. Cost of living shot up in the last 14. Absolutely. Yeah. I
mean,
don't tell him.
I mean, you know, I know the cost of inflation is happening all over the world, no matter who's in office.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, what, you know, when you know the cost of living has not only affected the United States, it's affected the Dominican Republic as well. So it's much bigger than just the president, I believe. There's many more factors at work. But yeah, I know it's going to be cultural shock for me, you know, in the States. And, you know, one thing that's difficult for me in the States, Big Boss, is, you know, how much African Americans are acting like fools and wearing their pants down, and, you know, the ghetto-ness that goes on. Man, that thing drives me insane.
Get ready for that. Well, it kind of depends on where you're going to be moving to, but yeah, you know,
you got that ghetto-ness everywhere, though, isn't it?
Pretty much, because it's funny. Even in the suburbs, the white boys be trying to act ghetto. So I mean, you can't win from losing. Call them wiggers with a W, a wigger. Oh man. So we got a question right here from Mike S from Ohio. So Mike S says, on the topic of health, Doc, have you ever seen a 600-pound Dominican, or is that an American thing? Oh,
I have seen, never a 600-pound, but there's some fat people here. You know, I do think that their diet is obviously different. You know, I mean, then genetics comes into play as well. You know, I believe. As a matter of fact, when you and what's his name, we was talking about health and everything. Shit, I've gained. When I was in Port Plata, I was running that Malecon every day and everything. And so I've gained, you know, I think after the what they call it, the quarantine thing, man, my lady started cooking something. See, I got to blame it on somebody, man. I can't take responsibility. No, I'm joking. No, but I did, man. She was cooking out of this world. But no, I think they do have unhealthy people here. Actually, I'll give you a stat that you won't believe. But when I give these stats, you just got to look them up. You can't say, oh, he's talking crazy. People love to do that. This is a stat here. African-American men still live a longer life than Dominican men. And I've heard people talk about, oh, the healthy food and this and this. Never do people look into the insecticides or the lack of control in insecticides, which I have in my book as well. And I will say this. Now, it could be because we have better medical facilities in the United States. But when you look at the lifespan of the Dominican men versus African-American men, we still got them by a couple of years.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. And I wouldn't have thought that just off the top of the head.
Yeah, and people will say, oh, they're living so healthy. And I believe that that's true. However, when you look at the Americans, I mean, brother, when you look at a photo of just brothers over here taking the pictures, we're just so out of shape. Yeah. And a lot of brothers come here and die. As you know, a lot of brothers come here and die. I heard a Dominican tell me, say, man, it's a beach close to Puerto Plata. He said, man, I've never seen an American man come here and live for 10 years. So I made it, you know. but a lot of people, because what I
missed that part. Run it back. You said the guy told you what now?
He's never seen an American man come to the Dominican Republic and live more than 10 years. And I said, wow, I made it past the 10 years. But I will say this. I think that when people move here and they just said, oh, a lot of people drink more than they should, eat more than they should, party more than they should. And I can tell you this, yeah, and I think that they try to continue that lifestyle, which is a detriment to their health, really. You ain't on vacation anymore. You got to live this every day.
Mode no more.
Yeah.
You got to switch.
Yeah. Especially guys who have friends coming in and out. They'll be like, hey, man, let's go out.
Let's kick it, man. Let's kick it.
And so they'll find themselves drinking more.
Right.
So, you know, that's a factor. And a lot of Dominicans are going to work, or they're not eating all the stuff that we're eating. And some of them Dominicans be working hard too. And so they kind of burn calories like that. Our diet is different.
Roads, man.
Yeah.
Those be the Haitians. Those be the Haitians at the side of the road.
Yeah. But any more questions?
Yeah, hold on. I don't know if it's a question, but I got a $5 super chat from my sponsor. Now at $75. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, he about to hit 100, man. Mailman 17 still delivering the mail. $5. Doc, you're missing the most important part of coming back to the Matrix is the food. They just, man, say that. We talked about that in one of my groups. They just approved lab-made chicken. Cancer is running rampant here. Oh, man.
Yeah. And cancer is a big issue here as well.
Oh,
cancer
really?
is a huge issue here. And again, these are things that people can look up. Just type in cancer, Dominican Republic. Just do it. Cancer is a big issue here. And this is the thing here. Anybody who's lived here for any amount of time will tell you the lack of regulation here is off the chain. And in reference to the drugstores, and yeah, I just put on some.
Shout out to the drugstores, man, because I go down, I make the pharmacy run at the man, you know.
Yeah. But I think that in reference to the American food, I'm never going to defend that. Don't got to worry about me trying to defend the healthiness of American food. I'm with him all the way. They doing all kind of stuff to the food there. I mean, however, I'm just going to say there's less regulation here, and people love to talk about the fruit. People love to talk about but they've never looked into the pesticides that the Dominican companies use. They never look into that, but yet they love to scream like they know what's going put into. And I kind of hate. I don't like that. I'm like, hey, wait a minute now, because I've looked into the pesticides and things that they're putting in food here. So I'm never going to defend American food. Never.
Right.
And I'm not going to be so fast to defend their food, especially. I think with the women, I think even our women beat them out. But again, it could be because we have better medical facilities. That might be the better, the biggest variable. But I'm not going to say the women, but I'm almost sure our women are beating them out as well. African American women, but I'm not sure. But the men, I know.
Okay.
And if they have surpassed us in the last year or so, it's not by much. So they're not over here living this long life. And Americans definitely aren't, because like I said, look at any picture that any of these passport brothers do that live here. A lot of these guys are out of shape.
Man. I think a lot of that's the lifestyle, the partying lifestyle when you get out there. And again, like I was talking about with General Taylor Made, and that probably was the thing. And I'm gonna talk about on my health channel, not sex channel, health channel. drinking inhibits you burning fat. Even if you lose weight, it's most likely going to be muscle and water weight. Drinking alcohol inhibits burning fat because drinking impairs your liver, and your liver is your primary organ to help you metabolize fat. Right. So you literally cannot burn fat if you're drinking a lot of sugar alcohol.
Yeah, I was listening to that. That's so interesting.
It doesn't happen. And you over there drinking all the time. So
right.
That makes perfect sense.
Any more questions?
Boss knows a little something about health, but he say Larson say now this getting interesting. I see a question. Magnifico. Oh man, shout out to Dr. Zaba. Why so many people been saying Santo Domingo is safer than the U.S.?
I think this is the thing. I have a lot of numbers on that. There are cities in the United States that are more dangerous than Santo Domingo.
Right. When you
Chicago.
You break it down to cities.
Yeah. And so he said a city. And what I'm saying about this is there are cities that are safer. Right. However, I mean that are worse.
Shout out to South Central Los Angeles and Oakland.
But because of the thousands and thousands and thousands of cities that we have a tremendous amount of cities that are safer than Santo Domingo. Actually, safer than Santo Domingo and Chicago. But to say that Chicago is more or some of our other killer cities would not be correct.
Leading murder capitals of the world. I mean, America, we got some killers, like literally killer cities.
But again, I urge people to look up this simple. I urge people to look up this simple, and this is what I've always been saying, and people will argue me into the ground, but they won't go look it up. We per 100,000, the Dominican Republic is before the United States. The United States is around in a country in a world with about close to 192, 95 countries based on who you ask. United States always ranks about 68, 71. Dominican Republic always ranks about 25, 26, 32. I think Colombia has surpassed the Dominican Republic this year. I'm not talking about 2023. Mostly what I put in the books is 2019, 2020, 2021. Okay. So the numbers may have changed. And so and even Haiti before the last couple of years was ranking after the Dominican Republic in many studies. But again, don't believe me. Please don't believe me. Go look this stuff up.
So you were saying up to a few years ago, Haiti was ranked safer than the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, if you're sitting in front of the computer, look up to year 2019 and look up homicides per 100,000 and see what Haiti ranked. But now it might be off the chain. It's just like I was saying earlier, the United States, I don't know if I said this, United States has always been ranked as number one as far as incarcerating people. Yeah. And even China, who has a much higher population, it came up well behind the United States. But I think the changes in El Salvador had just happened with locking a lot of the MS-13. And so now they may have the highest incarceration rate in reference to the population. So it's and we don't even want to, I don't know why brothers don't talk about crime in Brazil. I mean, these guys got all these channels and they don't talk about the crime in these places. Like, that is insane to me. As much crime goes on in Brazil. And I'll tell you something. That I found out about Brazil and I couldn't believe it. So when I tell you this, you're not going to believe it.
Unless the police know it. Go ahead. What is it?
The police sometimes come in and indiscriminately shoot up neighborhoods.
I know. They got kill squad. They got school.
I didn't know that they just. I didn't know they were just shooting up people's houses and the people ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I didn't know that happens.
Okay, Big Boss breaks on that. What I know is that the police play it fast and loose down there. They're quick to kill. They kill criminals outright for the littlest, smallest thing. They have basically kill squads with cops that they are known. They go out and they'll just hunt down and kill bad guys for the littlest of nothing. You talking about going in and killing innocent families? Let me say this. When we hang up, I'm going to send you a YouTube video, all right? If I can find it. But I did not know. If somebody would have told me that, I would have said, you're talking crazy. You don't have in Brazil where police will just go shooting up different houses and because it's a bad neighborhood or whatever. I would have never believed that, Big Boss. I would have never believed it. So when I told you, I don't blame you. It's kind of like saying to you, I saw a dinosaur. Well, I'm going to have to show you that dinosaur before you believe it, right? Yeah. Yes.
Right. So what I'm telling you is,
and someone showed you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I wouldn't believe that. I wouldn't believe it. You know. Right. So I'm hopefully
because I know what I do know, and I've been there 4 times, and right. I'm in contact with locals that live there, and I know a lot. I'm privy to a lot of stuff. What you saying is almost in the realm of what I know. But not to that extent,
right? And I would hope that you would grant me the liberty to say, send it to me, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Absolutely. Send it to me, yeah. Right? And I will.
I know they have police kill squads.
Yeah. I think everyone, but I don't think a lot of people have heard that they'll go.
I know that. So yeah.
I just don't think I've never heard that they go into neighborhoods that they just dislike and they'll start shooting up indiscriminately. I didn't know that. I swear I didn't know that. So I will send it to you if I can. If tonight, I'll try to get it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Any more questions?
I hear you, man. He said, there's a lot of people that are trying to live a champagne life, but on a beer budget. Oh, man. I heard that. One question. You touched on this more or less, so I don't know when this question came in. You gave us a number of reasons. He's saying is your number one reason to move is safety. Is it the number one?
Yeah, I would say it's this. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's huge for me.
It's not number one reason for your move.
You know,
States is for safety.
You know, only people out here is so safe over here is Americans. And a lot of times they in Puerto Plata, or they ain't living in Santiago or Santo Domingo. I don't really hear Dominicans talk like that. And then I say this too. Y'all done been over here at night. Y'all done been in Santo Domingo. Y'all done been in Santiago. You see how them Dominicans be getting in their damn house when they be on the street and nobody be out. Y'all see how these people move. Y'all know how these people living. You know these people behind bars over here. You know, so I don't see them saying it's so safe. You want me to You know what? Oh, my lady she might be asleep. I could have got her on the phone and just talked to her. You know, I mean, I wouldn't put her on camera, but just talk to her about safety and what. I mean, she can't even. You know how people in the military have PTSD? Yeah. That's what she got, man. That's what she got. She Dominican. That's what she got. She cannot sleep with that door unlocked. Can't do it.
That speaks volumes.
She has to lock that door. She come in the room. She come in the house the other day running. I'm like, well, what's wrong? I don't know. I seen this guy on this motorcycle. She paranoid as hell. And she Dominican. You could look, man, go in the country right now. Go in the country in the Dominican Republic, and people got bars, meaning they live in the country now. And there used to be a time, even I can remember, as many houses didn't have bars. These people are poor, and they still have bars on their window.
Right.
Go to the country.
They want to protect what they got. Poor or not, you want to protect what you got. Poor or not.
Man, look here. Talk to a Dominican about people stealing your goats and your cows and stuff. Okay, just talk to people. Talk to somebody who's a farmer. Yeah, these people steal your cows and goats and stuff, man. I put my Ring doorbell out, and the electrician was like, "This is the mindset." He said, "The Ring doorbell that goes outside. This is facing." He said, "How you gonna keep somebody?" You gonna laugh at it. He looked at me. He thought about how you gonna keep somebody from stealing the doorbell.
He asked you that. He asked
me that. It's like that's how he thinks, But nobody has.
Somebody steal your doorknob.
But I'm saying for him to even think that, No, I ain't heard of that now.
What's the difference? That's the case. Steal your door.
How you gonna keep somebody from stealing your camera? I ain't even thought about that, But any more questions?
Stealing to be stealing. Oh man. So yeah, we got a super chat right here in the super chat question. Shout out to Mike S. He came with another $5. I believe that's $10 total. Shout out to Mike S. from Ohio. He says the minister Elijah Muhammad says you should marry a woman half your age plus 7 years. Wow. Question for both you guys. What's your age dating range? Okay. I'll go first. I don't really date like that, but I guess if I date, I don't know. I guess that's about right. He said half my age, so I'm 51. So that'll be 26. And he said plus 7, 28. Oh man, I guess that's about right. That kind of hits like almost just right. Up to I don't know, I'm older now, right? I'm older, so I don't know if I date a chick much older than me. I'm 51. Men and women, we age differently. So a 51-year-old man and a 51-year-old woman is a lot different. So I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm 59, and I don't want no young person around. I just to me that young. So I'm thinking like.
What's the youngest you would go?
Probably 45.
45, the youngest.
That's about all, man. I
45.
I ain't young. Yeah. I don't know what's up with these guys. It's just my opinion. I don't know, man. Maybe I mean, you got guys being with 20-something-year-olds, but for me, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with it, really. When I say these guys, I really mean to say I don't see how they kind of can relate to them a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah. See, so that's why I answered the way I did, because I'm not even in a mind frame to date like that. Seriously, I'm still just having fun. So if I'm having fun, obviously the chick needs to be of legal age. That's my criteria. She needs to be legal. Outside of that, now, if I was going to be in a serious relationship, I wouldn't want her super young, because then, the immaturity and the games, So if I was going to take her serious in a serious relationship, she has to be somewhat a mature mind, but not real old.
And for me, you hit a key word there, fun. I mean,
yeah, I'm in the fun stage. I'm having fun.
I'm kind of like thinking like, you know, as we get older, you know, another reason why I'm moving back is I want to be under my grandkids. I want to help go to their functions. I want to go. And you know, my granddaughter had a function, man, and I didn't go. You know, that's a big part too. Yeah. And let me say this other thing too before I get off of this. Medical, man. I mean, a lot of guys will tell you. They don't want to be caught up in a lot of these foreign hospitals. So, I don't have any pressure. I don't have any problem, physical, nothing. But, you know, if I have to be in the hospital, I prefer to be in an American hospital. But let me say this in reference to the whole, for me, as you know, when I go, I want to be around people who love me. I want to be around people who you know, their heart is into me. So I'm more so have been building you know, those strong roots and relationships. Because for me, when I'm having like fun, you know, it's kind of difficult to build. And I talked to a brother the day or yesterday, and we were talking about how difficult it is to work by yourself. Look at this way. Look at this. If you had one finger and you were working, you know, just trying to do everything by yourself, even two fingers will help, you know. So I'm trying to say people who work together as a team can really build some things if they work together. And it's hard to do that by just having fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's tough being single and paying everything. You know, and of course, I want to take care of my family, my wife and everything. But like I always say, you know, if I had a farm, everybody getting out there milking cows. I ain't the only one milking cows. And so, yeah. And so with whatever you have, some of these guys, man, they have come overseas and have gotten sick and they really don't have anybody because they got these people that come by every once in a while or whatever. And so for me, especially getting older, it really is about trying to secure things and prepare and build a future. You know, that's where my mind is, you know.
Absolutely. It makes perfect sense and it tracks. Everybody's at a different place. We're not even going to say that everybody's different because that's obvious, right?
Right.
But even outside of that, there's different stages. So I would say a young man who's 23, 24 years old, like Austin Holloman, going all over the world, now in Africa at 23, 24, is different than a man that's 60-something years old, like General Taylor May Dream. Different than a guy that's 59 and married with grandkids in the States. Everybody has different things. Some people don't even have kids. They never was fortunate enough to have a lineage to have kids, and so they really don't have a family and grandkids to go back to the States. So you can't judge other people. People do what's best for them. So if somebody wants to go in they golden years after they worked 1,000 years on a factory for the white man and they got their little pennies and ones and twos and they want to go to a nice country and they spend their last days and they die peacefully overseas having fun, that's them. Maybe they don't have a tribe of grandkids to go back to. So everybody is different. You do what's best for you and stop trying to judge other people. And they should do this and they should be like this. And I think they should do this. Well, that's what you do. Everybody.
Wait a minute now. I ain't said none of that.
Everybody does what's best for them in their own
No,
mind.
but I'm saying I never said any of that. I'm talking about for me. I ain't talking about for you. I'm saying for me. Right. You know, so I never said any of that. However, I will say something about it now. I will say that it does speak volumes to me.
Okay.
When you got some people who got kids, has a mother and father, don't take them nowhere, don't take their kids nowhere, don't spend no time with their mama, don't spend no time with their daddy. To me, that speaks volumes. And there are some people who are like that. I heard a guy tell me something once, and he had something like 8 grandkids.
Okay.
And what he said to me was, it kind of made me sad for him. Now, he could have been perfectly happy, but he was like, I'm on my last leg, and I'm going to give all my money to these women of the night. And I was like, damn. And he was like dying. And I was like, for me, man, if that was me, I'm trying to be around my grandkids. I'm trying to be around my kids. I ain't trying to die with somebody, giving somebody all my money. They don't care nothing about me. Now that to me, that don't make sense. And you got a lot of brothers who don't spend time with their kids. You got a lot of brothers who don't take their mama on vacation. You got a lot of brothers. That happens. And to me, that ain't cool.
I hear you.
You know, your mama done sacrificed for you. Your daddy done sacrificed for you. You ain't got no time for them.
Right.
You know, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's people that they'll tell you quick, I don't mess with no family members. And them be the same dudes that'll go overseas and don't have Dominican friends or don't have, Thailand friends. So they're isolating themselves even in those areas.
Right.
You know, because if you don't have the skill to be around family, a lot of times, how can people be like, nobody in my family? I mean, like nobody? No nephew, no niece, nobody? God dang.
See, it's not them, it's you, huh? It's not them, it's you.
I don't know, but I think about those things, you know, and certainly we owe it to ourselves. A lot of men have worked their whole lives and have sacrificed for their families and people. And so we owe it to ourselves to live a very fulfilling life. That's not to say we should be ball and chain to nobody. So I get you.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Every man must do what's right in his own eyes. You know. The only person we answer to is God, the G-O-E.
No, I answer to a lot of people now. We always have to answer to people. You got to answer to YouTube if they tell you what to do. I always got to answer to my mom and my daddy. They call me. Well, my mother and father are gone, but I answer to them. They call me. I'm there for them. If my children need something and I can help them, I answer to them. No, I ain't living just for myself now. You know, even if you were to call me and say, "Hey, man, I got stuck down here. I need $50 to get home." I might answer to you.
Right. With that being said, that's a different type of answer. I'm talking about being held accountable to. But yeah.
I mean, but aren't you accountable to people?
In some cases, but I don't have to. I'm only accountable to God and myself, and I could choose to help who I want and not help who I want. I mean, so I only have when I say answer, like say with Judge, I only have to answer to God. That's when I say answer to. My mother is not God. You are not God. YouTube is not God. I don't have to answer to you. My job that pays my rent, my job is still not God. So I don't answer to my job. I go to work every day, right? I go to work.
I guess is how we define answer.
But I only answer to God.
I hear you. I think we're defining it differently. But any more questions before we go? Well, yeah, I'm about to get up. We've been on this thing for like 3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours and 8 minutes. Cassius Hicks says, "Doc, I like that blue cap. Just say I've been going raw in DR for 14 years. Now I'm ready to settle back in the U.S. Well, he has a wife. So, I mean, he has a wife. So, yeah.
What I mean, like, this is the thing, and I've said this already tonight. Yeah, I'm good, you know, and so yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of, and you know, I even have a chapter, I have a section in the book where it talks about all the positives of the United States. I mean, and I'll just name off a few. When you look up the 20 best colleges or universities in the world, about 17 are going to always come up in the United States. That's something people might not believe, but look it up. You know, people say they travel, man, and people, there are so many places in the United States to visit. Grand Canyon, just Niagara Falls. I mean, just so many places to visit.
That's why I would take that. That's why I would take that 50 million, man. You give me 50 million, hey, but that's probably what it would take. Give me 50 million. I give you this, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah. But any more questions?
Oh man, I don't know. You might have answered it all.
Well, all right, man.
My thing is, well, Dr. Shaba, I thank you for coming on.
Hey man, it was a pleasure.
I put the link in the description. You guys can go get his book. You can order it off Amazon. It's hardback. Was it a digital copy on there? I just saw the hard copy.
No, I didn't do a digital because people tend to share. This is a question. Have you bought the book?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I may or may not. I haven't bought the book. I put it on my thing. I shared it. I may or may not.
What? I would have thought I would have got your support.
Well, I'm promoting it and I'm posting it for other people, but I have not bought your book yet, and I may or may not.
All right. Okay. Well, hey, man. Well, thanks for having me, brother.
No problem. Any last words? I'll make you big.
Hey, you better buy that book, man. Especially when I say, man, look, I don't need no money. You keep all, you could buy that book with that. That's my last word. All right, man. Y'all be good, man. Thanks again, brother. I'm going to get you that Brazil thing too.
Yes, absolutely. Give me.
It might not be tonight. It's late. Yeah. I got to go to a wedding tomorrow. So I
remember you told me.
Yeah. So it'll probably be Monday, but I might find it before then.
But all right, brother. So it's, when we're talking about a video that you've seen.
Yes. I'm gonna get it to you though. I'm gonna get it to you. All right, brother. Y'all be good, man.
All right, Dr. Shaba, the author of the book "What I Wish I Would Have Known Before Moving to the Dominican Republic," a book for people specifically who is thinking about moving to the Dominican Republic. I have no plans to move permanently to the Dominican Republic. I don't have a lot of plans to even go back and visit too much, but most likely, in all honesty, I probably will before it's all said and done. I probably do have another Sasua run or two in me, but I am in no hurry to go back to the DR. I've been going to the DR. I've been 5 times in the course since 2018. So DR or Dominican Republic, Sasua, has a special place in my heart. It was the first overseas country I ever went to when I first got my passport back in 2018. I went for my birthday, October 31st, Halloween. So I did Halloween in DR in 2018. My very first time out of overseas. Other than that, I've been to Mexico before. That doesn't count. But overseas on a flight, Dominican Republic, 2018 for my birthday. And since that one time, the second time I went back, a few months later, that February 2019 for Super Bowl. And then my third trip period was to Colombia, Medellin, like May 2019. And then from then, this back and forth. I would do like 3 more Dominican Republic trips, and pretty much I did them all around my birthday, Halloween, because Halloween in Dominican Republic is kind of like a thing, right? So I did Halloween 2018, Halloween 2019, then I did Halloween 2020. Then I did that one Super Bowl, February 2019, and I think in 2020 I went twice. I went in the summer, right when they opened back up from the COVID lockdown, from the pandemic. Again, the Dominican Republic was one of the first countries to open back up. Shout out to Mexico. Mexico never shut down, right? But Dominican Republic shut down very briefly. And then Dominican Republic, I believe they opened up July 1st, 2020. So I went in the month of July, then I doubled back and went back in October. That was it. I haven't been to DR since 2020, so going on 3 years. I don't even plan to go back to the DR, period, so let alone to live. So that book is designed for people who is intending to move down to Dominican Republic or stay full-time. But also, like he said, you can buy the book to support whatnot. The book is about $30, right? He's selling the book for $30, and it's only hardback. He don't even have it on digital, so it's only a hardback for $30 on Amazon for people thinking about moving down to the Dominican Republic. If there's something that you're interested in, I put the link. I actually got the actual link where you can click it. It's in the description of this. So yeah. Outside of that, Mike S. Boss, what year do you project? Yeah, right. Man, yeah, you got a good memory because you know that's what I always said. So, man, at this point, tracking it, I don't know, man. I say so I would have to say like the fastest. My fast track, from what I can see, my fast track would be 3 years, and that's being fast. Slow can be 5, 6, 7, 8, but I don't see me going nowhere. The fastest I can probably do if I put it on a fast track within 3 years, and if I was to expat anywhere outside of America, for me, it would be Brazil, right? Like we said, every place has its built-in inherent dangers. So it's about how you move, and it's about the risks you're willing to accept. But for me, I think I would lean towards Brazil. I know a lot of guys like to do Thailand. Shout out to Thailand. And I love Thailand. But like I always say, and Mike, as you heard me say it, I said I would expat. I would live in Brazil, but I would party and vacation in Thailand. Because to me, Brazil and Thailand are my 1A and 1B. I wouldn't want to necessarily live in Thailand. But guess what? I will live in Thailand before I live in the Dominican Republic. Hello. So I have no intention on living and moving to the DR. But again, if you guys would like to support and buy his book, I got the description for you. Dr. So good, Dr. Jabba. To go rain like I'm Jabba Ranks. Hope you guys are entertained and informed. You know how Big Boss do it. I come with the infotainment, information and entertainment. The doctor came on with all the heat, all the smoke, all the fire. He did not hold back. He said what he said, and he gave the reasons. He started with the pros, the things that he liked about Dominican Republic. Then, of course, he ended on a lot of the negatives and the cons, and some of the reasons why he's choosing after 14 years. You know, he gave it a shot. After 14 years, he's going to leave the Dominican Republic and go back to the Matrix. Oh, man, with a Dominican wife. And one of the questions was, are you concerned or nervous about when you go back to the States? Now your Dominican wife might leave. Oh, man, you know what they say. When you marry a foreign woman, don't bring her back. Like Eddie Murphy said a long time ago on Raw. Eddie, I want half. I want half, Eddie. He said, man, when I met you, you was in the jungle with a big old afro on a zebra. I bring you back to America. You get around these American chicks that pumped your head up. Now all of a sudden you want half, you want to leave. Oh, man. But the good doc says he's not too worried about that. He's more worried about the culture shock himself. So I think everything will be all right. Very honorable. He wants to move back to be around his extended family, his family, his kids, more importantly, his grandchildren. He is up in age. He's 59, going on 60 years old. He has grandchildren. At this stage of his life, he wants to be around his grandkids and whatnot. He wants a more stable situation and have access to better health care and things like that. He lived overseas for 14 years, been there, done that. He said he heard from locals who told him that normally, on average, a lot of American guys, they have all these ideas when they come move down there, they don't even last 10 years. Most American guys don't live in the DR for a full 10 years. Shout out to General Taylor Made Dreams, who said, I'm never leaving the DR. And now the general is happily in Thailand, but he goes back and forth. And shout out to the general and his family and his beautiful little girl in the DR. The general has houses and businesses in DR and other places. That was dope. General put out a video, said, man, I got properties in like, what we say, 4 different countries. Shout out to General Taylor Made Dreams, man. People are doing it. But any takeaway, I would say is, oh yeah, Eddie, you treat me like animal. you remember word for word, huh? Yeah, that was funny. Eddie, you treat me like animal. I won't have Eddie. Man, shout out to Eddie Murphy, man. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. But yeah. Thank you. You know what it is. So we rocked out 3 hours. It is 10:30 p.m. on West Coast Cali. I know for you East Coast cats, you guys are 3 hours in advance. So it's what 1 o'clock in the morning for you guys. You guys rock out with the bossy boss. Thank you. It's all good. Boss, run out a little bit of steam. Like I said, real fast as I land the plane for the few people that are still rocking with the bossy boss. I just say it right here since I'm already live. Yeah, man, I'm no longer fasting. Man, I'm gonna break it down on the health channel that's coming before the year 3000, right? But yeah, I stopped my fast. I was gonna do my fast for a few full 29, 28, 30 days, but I stopped my fast because the main reason I did my fast for all these days was I was targeting something that I believed that I had SIBO, small bacteria overgrowth. I did not go get it checked from the doctor to make sure I had it because you do a SIBO test, a breath test. They give you a sugary substance. You put like a breathing mask on, and then they measure over 3 hours. They measure your breath, the gases that's produced. Because if you have this certain kind of SIBO, once the organisms eat up the sugary substance that you drink down, they kick off gas and they can read. I didn't go get that done. I just assumed that I might have had SIBO because I do have this round belly. And no, I don't drink alcohol like that, so it's not a beer belly. Yes, I have fat, but I have a lot of subcutaneous fat under the skin. This was called sub-Q. Visceral fat is the visceral that's around your organs. I have a round belly where I can push it in like the doughboy, whoo-hoo, like air. So in my mind, that's gas. That's most likely SIBO organisms. And so they say the way to kill SIBO, you have to basically starve them out, which means you don't eat. The SIBO, they eat what you eat. So every time you eat, they eat. It's like they're like little tiny parasites that live in your stomach, that live in your small in your colon. So, but there's also a substance that you take called the physician's diet or the elemental diet. It's a white powder that has all the vitamins and minerals you need to live, right? And it's literally just what you need to live and survive. I mean, and when you put the water with it, it's the consistency of milk. So it's not even thick. But you stir it up, you drink it, and you have to live on that for basically weeks and weeks, and that's it. I mean, water, coffee, and tea, but no solid food. And the thing about the physician's diet is pre-digested. Even when you drink it down, it's readily absorbed in your small intestines, even before the bacteria can get to it. If they get to it, there's still nothing they can really do to it because it's already pre-digested. But it's formulated in such a way, soon as you drink it down, soon as it passes your stomach, it's readily absorbed. So it robs the SIBO from trying to eat. So, and you eat nothing else. So after weeks and weeks, you starve the SIBO, they're weak. Then you start taking the antimicrobial that would kill them. So you're taking your berberine, you're taking your oregano oil, you're taking your allicin. I up the ante, because I know a lot of stuff. I started taking other hardcore anti-parasite pills like the black walnut, the wormwood, the clove, right? And I do all of that for weeks and weeks. I'm losing weight, but my stomach is still kind of round and a little bloated. I'm like, what the hell? I'm losing weight everywhere, but it wasn't to lose weight. People say, man, you lose. I didn't do it to lose weight. I know how to lose weight. I'm Big Boss Health Boss that taking forever to make the channel. The way you lose weight is diet and exercise. And with diet, is eat at a calorie. First of all, cut out the sugar and the carbs, the processed foods, and then eat at a calorie deficit. Focus on resistance training, some walking, and then do some HIIT. I know how to lose weight. It wasn't about losing weight. I was trying to target the SIBO. Boss could have made a mistake. I might not even have SIBO. Maybe I should have got the test, because the hardcore anti-parasite stuff I'm taking, if I would have had them, they should be dying off. Basically, blah, blah, blah. As they die off, you get what's called die-off sickness. As the parasites die, they leave behind toxins. And it'll make you a little sick, a little queasy. And this is called a healing phase. You just got to go through it. I almost didn't have that. And the amount of stuff I'm taking, I should be killing them left and right. So they're telling me I probably never really had it that deep. So it just might just be I was full of visceral fat. And who knows, visceral fat just behaves like that, just pushing in. I don't know. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. I have my DEXA scan June 1st. I guess it was a Thursday. On June 1st. My follow-up one is on June 30. So what, 30 days, 29 days. And I wanted to not eat between those times. But I got a new scale just the other day. And I got a scale that this one came with an app. And on it displays your weight on the scale, the straight number weight, but also on the app, it has a breakdown similar to how the DEXA is. It has your body composition, how much fat, how much bone density, water, muscle. And come to find out, yes, I lost 20-something pounds of weight, but according to the app, and however accurate that is, and that's why I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna weigh myself again on use that before I go to my next DEXA next week on the 30th. I lost a little too much muscle and my fat actually went up. I said, whoa. Wait a minute. I lost weight, but my muscle mass went down and my fat percentage went up. Too much of that, that's how you get skinny fat. I said, what the hell going on? I said, nope. Put the brakes. So now I'm switching tactics. Straight eating a lot of protein. Back in the gym to lift. Now, yeah, I was trying to lift somewhat, but I was the catch-22. Here it is. I'm starving myself, not eating. Drinking those little shakes. That's only like literally 150 calories a scoop. So, of course, I do 2-3 scoops, right? But even then, that's what, 300 calories? I'm supposed to eat over 2,000 calories. I'm getting by with like 300, maybe 400 calories. Talk about a deficit. And I still had the nerve to get my butt in the gym to do a little something. I was trying to send signals to my body. When you're fasting, you want to stimulate the muscle because you want to tell your body to spare the muscle. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. And even doing that, I lost muscle and my fat went up. I'm not trying to lose no more. You know how long it took me to get the muscle I got? You might tell, even this shirt used to fit differently. I don't know if you can tell my neck is skinnier. I don't know if you guys can tell from week to week, right? You only see me on here. You haven't seen me in real life. I actually lost muscle and gained fat. Lost overall weight. And see, this is the thing that a lot of people don't trip on, especially people who do a lot of cardio and then you cut out, I guess you cut out red meat, but you still eat a lot of carbs. A lot of people are going to end up skinny fat. You're going to end up skinny fat. You're going to lose weight. So your pound, you will lose weight. But what kind of weight? And once you lose muscle, it goes downhill because muscle is what drives your metabolism. So you do yourself no favor if you lose a lot of muscle. If you lose muscle, your metabolism gonna slow down. But much better serve building muscle. The muscle raises your metabolism. The muscle burns fat around it. So I have to completely reverse this thing. And it looked like I didn't quite hit my goal because the whole goal was to get rid of the round bloated stomach. Now, funny, that's my stomach did decrease, right? My girth decreased because I shrunk. I basically shrunk. My whole frame shrunk. So my stomach shrunk, but still round. What the hell? I wanted flat. And then eventually 6-pack. So I'm just going to have to do something different. And I break this all down on the other videos I just made. And they'll be up soon. And breaking this down. And it's just showing my health journey. And like I say, next week, next week, Friday on the 30th, I go in for my next DEXA scan. Oh, man. I know they're going to trip. They're going to look at the one on the 1st and the one on the 30th. And so I'm going to have that breakdown and everything. But at this point, this operation put on muscle. You know, muscle make everything better. So that's what it is. Blah, blah, blah. Boom. Cassie Hick, you look good, bro. I went to Thailand and lost 20 and came back to the Matrix and gained it back now. I feel back to crunch time for Thailand Halloween trip, right? Yeah, that's the thing, man, the yo-yo. But the thing is, man, you got to focus on the muscle, man. You got to focus on the muscle. And I've been on that for years, and it finally got drilled in my head. And then the only good thing of me doing this, it basically showed me in real time that muscle is where it's at. I lost all that weight, but I found out most of that weight was robbed from my muscle. So yeah, I shrunk and lost weight, but I lost muscle. And my fat actually went up. That's not what's up. That is not what's up. We're not gonna do that. The good thing is I know what to do. I know how to fix it. It's all good. Wow. Dang, you did? I had a buddy who had he didn't have lipo. He actually had the operation where they went in and I guess tied his stomach or took some of his stomach out. He said, you had lipo. Wow, it worked. Okay, that's what's up. Hey, man, that's one way to do it. I had lipo for belly fat 15 years ago. Man, man, hey, check this out. I am not above it. I'm going to do everything else in my power first. And first of all, like I say, before I end this, I guess this last segment would be a little bit of my health talk. My thing is, when I went on the first and had the DEXA scan, very first time I ever had a DEXA scan, I never had one. And it was a trip seeing everything like laid out. Like you see your body, like a 3D image of your body, like laid out. You know you when you see you. And it's color coded. The color code for your fat, color code for your lean muscle, the white for your bone. And you see you, and it has everything. I was like, wow. It said I was 30% fat. I go ahead and tell you. They said I was 267 pounds. 267 pounds, 176 muscle, and 80 pounds of fat. They said 82 pounds of fat, 9 pounds of bone. And my fat mass was 31%. Wow. Right? So on the app, on the scale I got, my fat mass went from 31%. It jumped up to like 32, 33. So that's a small increase, but it shouldn't even went up. How is it I lose weight? How is it I lose weight? I lose almost 20 pounds. I lose 20 pounds, but the fat goes up. And then the muscle mass that was 176 was now 159. I said, oh, hell no. Not the biggest, but still. 176 to 159, 31% to 33%. So I lost muscle and gained fat, but lost weight. No, we're not going in that direction. No. I need to get that muscle mass up. I need that muscle to go up and the fat to come down. going in the wrong direction. So I'm going to have to fix that. And the whole reason I did it basically didn't work because I wanted to get the flat stomach to get rid of this bloat. Hey, if it got to end up being lipo, it's going to be lipo. But at first, I do have to address the elephant in the room, right? Take care of the obvious, stupid, right? The obvious, stupid. Get that percentage down. Now it's at 32 or 33. I need to get that down to 15, 16. Once I get that body percentage down under 20, because they say anything over 25% BMI is obese. So yes, boss is physically obese. You shouldn't be above 25%. I'm at 33%. Above 25% is obese, and I'm at 33. I want to get it down to about 15, 16, 17. I got a sinking suspicion. If I get it all the way down to 15% and still got a belly, then it's time for lipo. Because I know I ain't pregnant. Pause. So I don't know what's up with that belly. I don't drink alcohol like that. And yes, I have the fat on it, but it's not even the fat. It's the round belly that you can push in. Woo-hoo-hoo. I thought it was air. And if it's air, that means it's gas from SIBO. I did everything by the book, and yet I still have it. And with the anti-parasite stuff I'm taking, I was expecting, I'm strong enough to take it. I was expecting the die-off sickness. I never really got it. So I don't really think I have them. I don't think I'm killing them off because I don't think I really had it. So we'll figure it out. It's a conundrum. But the main thing is, bottom line, I'm too heavy all the way around. I got to bring it down. Once I bring it down, then I can start fine-tuning. Yeah, I did kind of want to skip ahead. I wanted to skip ahead and get the flat belly now. Be at 30% body fat and want a flat stomach, right? So first thing first, stupid, right? Get the body fat percentage all the way down, then worry about it. And that's Health Talk with Big Boss. Oh, yeah, it's the most, yeah. Visceral fat is very dangerous. Exactly. Visceral fat is bioactive. It kicks off cytokines. Visceral fat kicks off cytokines, and visceral fat is actually active. It's not like sub-Q. Like your sub-Q fat, this is just like blubber, right? We all got sub-Q. This is subcutaneous. The visceral fat is active. The visceral fat kicks off things in your body and inflammation, and very dangerous. So I'm gonna have to burn that off anyway. The main way to burn that off, visceral fat, is your diet and exercise. You got to cut out sugar and processed foods. Lower your carbs, not all the way eliminate carbs, but you do have to lower. But you have to basically cut out sugar, cut out processed foods, lower your carbs, and you got to get active because what gets visceral fat is intensity exercise. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to talk about it on the What Health channel one of these days. Nah, I'm doing the videos now. Matter of fact, and I'm going to do some more videos on that tomorrow. It's just when I put them up. I probably still won't put them up for another couple weeks or so. Then next week when I do my DEXA scan, put that. It is what it is. You guys rocked out. I gave you that tidbit for a while for the guys that hung out and rocked out with me. So thank you guys for rocking with the Bossy Boss O'Leany. Cooking with gas, O'Leany, fire content on a Saturday night live. Next week, I got a hell of a show. Last time I said that, but I know he's gonna come on because he even emailed me. I got a treat for you to just watch my my community post. But I know he's coming on because this big YouTuber actually emailed Bossy Boss, and yeah, I got a lot going on. Believe it or not, Boss got a lot going on. But like I say, man, this month is crazy. Going these weeks without really eating and going to work, working my 2 jobs. I was doing my same shit. Going to work, working 2 jobs, getting my little bit of sleep, and trying to go to the gym, trying to lift, trying to save my little muscle, trying to lift with no sleep and no food, working 2 jobs. And then trying to do this damn YouTube for you guys who don't be watching and subscribing and clicking and whatever. But I'm going to get it done. It's all good. We rocked out. Shout out to Dr. Shaba. Shout out to TaylorMade. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to Mailman17, man. Shout out to everybody else. Shout out to Fireman, Cassius Hit. Shout out to Mike S. from Ohio. Shout out to Kings and Dreams. Shout out to Mono Guitari. Shout out to all you guys, man. Keep rocking with Bossy Boss. We're going to get to the top. One day, Boss is going to get hella subscribers, and you guys are going to be on my day ones. You're going to be my day ones in a circle. I said, I got my same 30, you know, like Leonidas. Leonidas had his 300. Boss, I'm going to have my 30. I said, I got my 30 with me. I don't care if I get 1 million subscribers. I got my faithful hardcore 30 that I know all you guys' names. You know, that's what's up. You guys rock with the real one from the old town. Boss E. Boss O. Leany. We're going to go out and give you something. Hey. Where?
Who do the hiring and the firing? That's the boss, boss, boss. Who the man in Oakland? That's the boss, boss, boss. Lame talk, oh man, not the boss, boss, boss. Biggity, wiggity, Bossalini with the sauce, sauce, sauce. Travel bros catching flight, not for love, love, love. Bossalini up in here to bust it up, bub, bub. Talking dirty, you don't like it, hit the tub, tub, tub. TLC, keep it pop, I'm a thug, thug, thug. Real talk over here, we don't feel y'all, no. Real soft, pillow whisper, that's that squeal talk. Woo! I don't feel y'all, dog, like you real lost. Too much imitation talking, get you peeled off. Yeah, big Bossalini, Leany, he shrimp linguine. You never see me disappear like Houdini. Don't call me for no favors, unless it's real talk. Straight up out of Oakland, that's that big boss. Who do the hiring and the fun? That's the boss, boss, boss. Who the man in Oakland? That's the boss, boss, boss. Lame talk, oh man, not the boss, boss, boss. Biggity, wiggity, Bossalini with the sauce, sauce, sauce.
Oh man, not the boss, boss, boss.